with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
All the way until 10 a.m. I am on the East Coast. Shall return on Monday. But for the rest of you, please join in at 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. How goes it, Jason?
It goes, right?
Yeah.
It goes.
It was okay.
It was all right. Was it okay?
Yeah.
It was okay. It was all right.
I mean, we had an action-packed show yesterday. Lots of stuff to talk about today. We got more, but it's just would have liked a different outcome last night.
I have a feeling the answer is no, but I'm going to do that thing again because some things switched on my on my board. Let me know if you can hear this here. Can you hear the music?
No.
Stupid board. I can't get it to connect to my I can't get it to connect to my thingy dingy now, which is bothersome because when I was in England, there was a little bit of a let me see if I can do this while we're going here. There was a little bit of a there's news over there that happens, obviously. And there was a story I was thinking, when things calm down, I wanted to share with you. I'm going to try. Never done this before, and it's probably not a great idea, but I'm going to try to connect this to my phone and see if I can play it off of that. Probably won't work. Let's see. Can you hear this? Here we go. Let me turn it up. Can you hear that?
Robert De Niro is Al Capone.
Did you hear any of
Robert
that?
De Niro is Al Capone.
Good. Was the well? Let's see. Because I don't want to play the thing I want to play until let's see. I'm just going to let it run for a couple seconds. Make sure the levels are all good. Ooh, explosion.
Kevin Costner is Elliot Ness.
I have sworn to put this man away with any.
Okay, so that sounds okay.
It's okay.
It's not great.
It sounded distant. I don't know. Maybe it was just where it was on the clip of the trailer.
All right. Well, let's see if this works, and if not, it'll just be lame. Because let's go to let's turn this down here. I'm going to go to BBC England for a very important story here or over there in Europe here.
A woman from Wales is facing jail after bombarding her boyfriend's ex with videos of herself farting. Rhiannon Evans, 25, has appeared in court today to plead guilty to harassment in Britain's first ever cyber farting case. She is accused of causing distress or anxiety to her boyfriend's ex after sending videos of herself passing wind. The prosecution told the magistrates that in the first video she sent, she proceeds to pass gas by placing the camera on her bottom and passing the gas. Over the next few days, another 4 videos were sent of the same nature, showing Rhiannon passing wind and then showing her face smiling at the camera. Her tooting continued on Boxing Day and New Year's Day, despite police getting wind of what had happened. Rhiannon was arrested at her home in Carnarvon and will be sentenced this week.
There you go.
I like how we got wind, gas, and tooting.
All of it. I mean, they're very cheeky over there.
See.
Yeah, incredibly cheeky. So point being, Chris, no more of that, or I will freaking have you arrested.
Yes. And charged.
Those days are over. Can you imagine that? You send those videos off and she's going to get fined for that.
Wow. Well, she had a smile on her face.
Imagine explaining that on your record. Oh, I see here You committed a misdemeanor for what? Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, good morning, everybody. And I especially wanted to make sure I threw that in there for our new listeners. Yep, it's that type of show. And we got, yeah, I want to set up the show yet. We still have some stuff to do, but a lot of things to get to today, including an actual game that happened. Kelly Brothers joins us at 7:28. Sam Amick is on at 8 a.m. I expect one or two people are going to want to hear that interview at least. So
I would think at least.
You know, Jason, what do I have for you? Every time I pack and I go somewhere, when I come back, my bag is always bigger than when I left.
I think that's a problem, but maybe not. As long as you got the ability to. Did you leave some space for that?
Well, the problem is I mean, I guess it's not the problem, but the hotel we stay at is nice enough because we stay at the same hotel every time. It's nice enough to where they're kind enough to create a spot where we can leave our stuff. We can, they'll store it for us, in other words, right? And so the problem is that every time I stay here, I leave more and more things because I don't have room in my luggage to come back. And in fact, the last two times I've come back, I carry my backpack on the plane, and I have a big rolly suitcase, with all my crap in it. The last couple of times I have actually gotten a duffel bag so that I could put the extra stuff in there, because otherwise, man, I'm just mushing down that case. Like I literally, the last time I packed it, I had to sit on the case on the bed while I zipped it up because it was that packed. And then you open everything up and it's like one of them Jack in the Boxes where the whole thing opens. And
right.
I don't know. I have this issue where I overpack always, but I forget key things. Like this time it was a belt. Last time it was I didn't bring a single t-shirt. And I need to do better at eliminating the things that I don't need to pack.
Yeah, see, so you should take that inventory now of knowing, okay, I didn't need this, I won't need this next time.
But then next time I won't bring it, Jason, and I'm going to need it.
Well, all those notes you kept in your phone for this situation.
That's the problem. Like, I don't know if this is just a guy thing or not, but like, okay, for example, at my house, I have a box in one of the closets, and in there are a bunch of Ziploc, freezer bag style Ziplocs, big old, 1 gallon Ziplocs. And they're filled with all kinds of wires, cords, USB this, and here's an HDMI cable. And they've been there for years, and it keeps growing and growing and growing because I'm perpetually afraid of throwing these perfectly good cables out, knowing that someday I'm really going to need one. And hey, there is one. And I'm wondering, do you have anything that would be the equivalent of that at your house?
I'm sure I do, but there's nothing that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, I don't have, I do have some old electronics. They're in a box, but I just either haven't disposed of them but I don't know that I'll ever go back in there and go, oh yeah, I think I have that cord. That's the problem. I guess I just need to get rid of that box.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Why have you not gotten rid of the box of, like, when you say old electronics, are we talking about what, like a VCR, an old video game system, something like that?
Well, maybe older phones, maybe some older, I know I even have like a, what was that called? Not a BlackBerry, but there was something.
A Trio?
No, there was even something before. It was like one of the first things you could almost like write on. It was a specific
Palm Pilot.
Yes, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And it's like I will not use that. But why I still have it? Like, what do you do? Isn't there like a e-waste or something like that, as opposed to like you just don't throw those away, do you?
I think there is actually. I think there is some sort of, I don't know if it's a place you go to or a day that they have where you can throw out all your e-waste. I mean, here's the thing. I would say throw it out. Like, why are you keeping that Palm Pilot? But for example, I remember this very specifically. in 1996, I was just a poor little kid trying to figure my life out, and I got when I say I got a bonus on a check, it was like a $200 Christmas bonus or something.
Nice.
It was like no more than that. Yeah, I was rich, and so I took it, and it was the week that the Nintendo 64 came out. And I bought the Nintendo 64. I think it came with Super Mario 64. And then I don't want to say, I know for a fact, I bought Star Fox 64 with it, right? So, man, and I had it was like one of those times in my life. I will never forget that weekend. I was in heaven. I had everything I wanted. I'm sitting there playing it on probably a 27-inch Trinitron TV with the rounded edge that weighed 500 pounds. And I had all I needed in the world. And then I realized not that many years ago, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at it now, it was 4 years ago in July of 2021. Jason, had I just bought an extra copy of Super Mario 64 and it had stayed in my garage and I'd forgotten to open it, I could sell it for $1.56 million.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there is a market for old video games, now specifically sealed ones.
Sure. But
in July of 2021, a sealed copy of Super Mario 64, which was released in 96, sold for a little over $1.5 million. In August, the very next month, an unopened copy of Super Mario Brothers, which was from 85 when the original Nintendo came out, that was sold for $2 million. Legend of Zelda was sold for $870,000, and on and on and on. And that I remember reading that to my wife when I saw that come out, and she just rolled her eyes like, are you kidding me? Because now I'm thinking, well, for example, what if, oh my God, what if someday, there's like this weird underground collector's market for old Palm Pilots,
right?
And you've got one in good condition, you sell it for $50,000.
I'm in. Is there a market for it yet? Or do I have to wait a few more years?
You might have to wait a few more years. But I mean, look, man, you never know when you're going to need this stuff. And I think that's every guy has that box in his closet where you've got things that you never know. You're going to die and that box is still going to be there, and your family's going to be clearing out your garage and be like, oh, he kept this forever. But
yeah, why did he have this?
Here we go. Last thing, because I know we got to take a break. Here we go. Remember when the original iPhone came out?
Yep. Yeah.
If you still had one in its pack that was unopened, you could. There was one sold that same year, July of 2023, actually, sold for $190,000.
Wow.
Right. Which
so
makes
maybe
you
the
think,
lesson is buy two of everything now and then keep one wrapped up.
That's what I do. Every time something new comes out, I buy two. I just can't wait for that Apple Vision Pro. I just need to wait another 20 years on that sucker.
Have you seen the news story? It was like, I don't know if it was the first iPhone. I think it was the first iPhone, but this woman went to the first person in line and said, I'll give you $5,000 to take your spot. And she went in with $20,000 to buy as many phones as possible. And they're like, sorry, it's just limit one. You can only.
Yep. Yep. That's my favorite story. That is my absolutely favorite story, because she tried to game the system and the system gamed her. She had done that with Cabbage Patch Kids. Remember that?
I do.
Yeah.
I didn't have any of those.
From the text line 916-339-1140. What the heck are we talking about here? Did you guys have coffee yet? Well, Jason, we talked yesterday. A lot of new listeners. First segment.
I walked over there before I get my coffee.
First segment's always about crap. All right, we'll take a break and we'll start the show for everybody else. All about crap. All right, so there was an actual basketball game yesterday. The Kings fell to Philadelphia. We'll talk about that. Obviously, we will continue the Fox conversation as well. The Fox did say something yesterday, so we'll talk about that. Sam Amick will join us at 8 a.m. Kelly Brothers at 7:28.
What a business.
Still got 4 down territory to get to as well. We'll bring that back today at 8:28. We'll have a special double episode of Sam Amick when he joins us a little bit later. So sit back. It's a fine Thursday morning. Enjoy. We'll do all the work. You guys just listen. It's Dave, Jason, and Chris, and we're right back after this.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
There's no better time than the beginning of a new year to get ready to make good on all of those promises you've made to yourself about getting fit. And there's no better place than In Shape Fitness to get the ball rolling or bouncing. So grab some friends for a game of pickup basketball on our courts. Or stretch your limits in a yoga or Pilates class. In Shape personal trainers are standing by, just waiting for the opportunity to help you create a happy new you. We are In Shape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
A new year means new roads to explore. Grab the keys to a new Toyota and make adventure your resolution. Shop the industry's best lineup of hybrid SUVs like the RAV4 Hybrid, Grand Highlander Hybrid, redesigned Land Cruiser, or all-new 38 MPG Toyota Crown Signia. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Kick off your best year yet in a new Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Stories in the...
Boy, this is just a painful loss for Doug Christie and the Sacramento Kings. After leading by 12 in the third quarter at 80-68, the Kings come down the stretch, couldn't make shots, just 1 3 after another, and the final score ends up being 117-104. And for the 7th consecutive time here at the Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia has beaten the Sacramento Kings.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. Starting to sound familiar as the G. Yeah, that was very, very disappointed G-Man right there.
Yep.
Yeah, 28-17 in the fourth quarter in a 13-point victory for Philadelphia. Of course, Philly with the 28. In that case, fairly balanced scoring amongst the starters. But Jason, you watched every second of that as well. Look, no offense to Philly, who didn't have Joel Embiid, who didn't have Paul George, amongst others. This was a very, very shorthanded Philly team, and I think the Kings lost. I think there are some games where you go, it doesn't matter. Like, for example, the Knicks, like Kings or Denver,
yeah.
Kings were, we'll say, hey, schedule loss or this or that. To me, this is a game the Kings lost more than Philly won, and I think there were some pretty glaring mistakes both during the game, but also overall that keep biting them. That this should have been a win. They should have won this game last night.
This should have been a schedule win. I mean, they had the advantages, one being back-to-back for Philly, 2, the amount of players that were out, and not only George and Embiid, which is a huge piece to the puzzle, but also Drummond being out. So I thought there were so many things the Kings could have done in the paint. I know we'll address a little bit later, too, about some of those things, but, I mean, I thought this was a day, one, either Sabonis would absolutely feast and or just a bunch of points in the paint. They didn't win that category by much, and Sabonis took 6 field goal attempts on a day without him. Yeah, without Embiid, without Drummond. Yabusele was in some foul trouble. I thought they did some things structurally wrong too. They played far too much zone for my liking. Some of the people they played in the first half just didn't seem to work, and then the second half, Doug just kind of went away from him. So now it's back to really relying on the starting 5. Yeah, last night showed up again on that roster imbalance, and that the bench is absolutely killing them right now.
Well, the good news is that the Kings don't play again till Saturday. The bad news is the Kings are at Oklahoma City on Saturday. The worst news is Oklahoma City doesn't play until Saturday. And the worst news of all is that Oklahoma City just lost to the Warriors last night, 116-109. So they're going to be anger-faced.
Yeah, and they have lost 2 in a row once this season. So can it happen again? Sure. But even really this trip, I don't think the Kings have played that well at all. I mean, I know the 1-3 shows that, but I mean, you could play well and lose. Last night, if they played well, they wouldn't have lost. That's the problem, and they didn't play well.
Well, there were some mistakes made. I mean, you really covered it, and that's what I want to focus on a lot today. Why is Domantas Sabonis taking 2 shots in the second half? And secondly, once again, the bench basically consists of Trey Lyles every 5th game, and can Keon Ellis hit a 3? That is pretty much, if neither of those things are happening, you're screwed. They have no bench, and the frustrating thing is that this is something that we talked about before the season started. It's something we've talked about all season long. It's putting undue stress on the starters on top of that, and these are avoidable things, Jason Ross, and they're going to end up. Who knows what the rest of the season is going to be, but at this rate, they're going to end up letting the season completely slip away for reasons that, in my opinion, could have been avoided.
Yeah, and then obviously we still have the backdrop of all the stuff going on with De'Aaron Fox, and I don't know. I think when they got on the court, they did a pretty good job of just playing, and I think they addressed that. That's their sanctuary. Look, there's a business to basketball, and then there's the actual game, and I don't think that was impactful in the game per se, but I don't know, Dave, how that's not impacting just the roster in general on the I can't even say day to day because it's still relatively fresh news, but just going forward, that's got to be on a lot of people's mind.
It's one thing if you've got Malik Monk and Sabonis playing 40 minutes, Fox 35, DeRozan 38, Murray 37. I mean, you're just grinding these guys into the ground. If you're winning, great, but they're not even winning in that situation, in part because there's no bench, in part because I'm just not happy with this franchise right now overall, and it has a lot to do with our second cut here. Cut number 2, please.
Cut number 2.
The Kings have received dozens of phone calls and offers in the last 30 hours since I reported this, but here's the most important thing to know. I'm told the San Antonio Spurs, according to league sources, are De'Aaron Fox's targeted preferred destination. And San Antonio is among the interested teams in Fox. This is someone that has a massive market right now. He's jumped to the top of the trade landscape ahead of the February 6th NBA trade deadline. He's in the prime of his career. He's a max contract player. These types of deals don't happen overnight, though. So the Kings are going to have to balance potentially finding the best offer for him right now when he has a year and a half left before his deal expires, or the inevitability of a trade in the offseason. And if you're an interested team like the Spurs are, De'Aaron Fox might also have that same interest in you. Here is your chance to potentially get a game changer.
I'm gonna try to use one of my famous stupid analogies or examples to outline the ineptitude of the Sacramento Kings as a franchise right now. Jason, don't worry about your favorite. Give me something you really, really like to eat. Like, oh my God, I can't wait to eat this.
Let's go with, well, I talk about gumbo a lot, so let's go with gumbo.
Okay, and then give me 2 things that you just would eat on a daily basis that you enjoy.
On a daily basis?
Yeah, or, on a weekly basis, regular things that you enjoy eating. Could be chips, could be a hot dog, could be a sandwich.
Sure, I'll just you said it. I'll say chips and a sandwich just because it's
okay.
There.
All right.
Okay, so now use an adjective.
So let's say you go into a restaurant and on the menu is the chips you like and the sandwich you like. And you're going to choose one of the 2. You enjoy them. That's great. I'll have the chips and the sandwich. But let's say there were 3 things on the menu. There's chips, there's sandwich, and then there's gumbo, the kind you like, but it is incredibly overpriced or not available. And had you not seen that gumbo was available, all you would have done is say, oh, hey, I'll have the chips and the sandwich. But the fact that the gumbo is available and you can't have it either for a financial reason or because it's not available, that's kind of going to piss you off. And all the restaurant had to do is take it off the menu. That's where the Kings kind of are at right now in the De'Aaron Fox situation, because they have to do other things. It's not just about Fox, and they might be able to use Fox to correct the issue, but now any talk they're having with anyone, someone's going to want to inquire about De'Aaron Fox. And if they say, no, that's not good enough, we'll take him off the table. What do you think about Kevin Hurt or Trey Lyles in a first-round pick for, they go back to the deals they were trying to do before. These other people are going to say, even just psychologically, in comparison, if you're not going to talk Fox, well, the ham sandwich and the soup, in other words, Trey Lyles and Kevin Herter and the pick, that's not going to be as appetizing to them. So that the Kings publicly have put themselves at a negotiating disadvantage because they are frozen. They can't do anything to help this team unless they probably overpay until the Fox situation is dealt with. And that might take care of both. But my goodness, like it really, really, really is frustrating.
Yeah, and in that example, I mean, if the Kings aren't able to, whether a deal they don't like, just whatever, this deal could get done if they are efforting to move Fox, but it also may not happen in the next week. We've got a week to go. So then what?
Yeah.
Right?
That's the thing. Then what? Then imagine that where nothing happens. Imagine if nothing happens by the trade deadline at all. And then we're sitting here on February 10th. and this is the team the rest of the year and everything that goes with it. Yay.
Yes.
By the way, also, De'Aaron, I know you listen. Can you relax on throwing out the Instagram reels? I just, while you were talking, I got this notification, because I have his notifications on, that De'Aaron Fox just put a reel on Instagram. I'm like, oh, and I go on it, and it shows, it's like the still shot. He's in a hoodie, and he's like staring at the camera. I'm thinking, wow, maybe we've got something here. Maybe he's addressing this. Maybe it's a message. It's a happy 10th anniversary. It's a Pokemon thing, dude. I think Pokemon. I think it's Pokemon. I don't know. It's something. Who is Jason? Who is Dokkan? Dokkan.
Who is Dokkan? Come on, Dave. You're
right.
cute.
I know. Let's revel in Dokkan Battle's 10th year, which I'm sure I'm mispronouncing and sounding super old. Wow, Malik already liked it. I don't, I guess they're awake right now, but yeah, you're scaring us, dude. He's doing all this other stuff, and it's like, there's other things going on, right? Can we talk about that, please? All right. We'll take a break. So, yeah, we'll take a break. When we come back, Jason, you got audio from last night's game. We got to listen to it. We've also got Kings Rewind coming up at the top of the hour. And remember I was talking to you yesterday about, we were talking about De'Aaron Fox, and we were talking about his hand injury and all that. How would that affect him on the inside and the key? You remember that conversation?
I do.
There were quite a few. It wasn't perfect last night, but my goodness, were there a few drives where it looked like it was the old De'Aaron Fox that impressed me. I wonder if you feel the same.
Yeah, those were good drives.
Great drives. Amazing drives. Wonder if he was using a Hobbit Dodge Chrysler Jeep or Ram from Woodland in the What's Happening for the Start Something New sales event, EBENT. I want you to check out the world of electric. I got an electric car. I love it to heck. Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT Plus plug-in for as low as $99 a month for 24 months. I need that. Jeez, that's a heck of a deal. $39.95 do it signing. Hey, these things, 77 MPGEs. Phenomenal. Really impressive how much money you can save at the pump. But, if you're not into the electric, or that just doesn't toot your flute, you also have a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Super Center with over 200 vehicles available and 40 under $20,000. Search, select, and save at HobletDodge.com. Get up there today and you tell them your good buddy Carmichael Dave sent you. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Kings played tonight. Jason's got your audio next.
Saturday night, Kings and Thunder. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Ad paid for by RFA Cancellation. Attention timeshare owners. If you need to get rid of your timeshare for any reason, please listen to the following message. Getting out of a timeshare commitment is not easy, and it takes time. But we specialize in helping consumers legally get rid of their expensive timeshares forever. Can't get the vacation dates that work for you? Maybe you felt taken advantage of or forced into the timeshare? Maybe you just can't continue to shoulder those monthly payments any longer. If you need to eliminate your timeshare commitment, then you need to take down this number, 800-823-1687. We will safely and legally get rid of your timeshare payments forever, all with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't continue to let your timeshare be a financial burden to you and your loved ones. Call us now at 800-823-1687. The call is free. The consultation is free. Call 800-823-1687. That's 800-823-1687. Again, 800-823-1687.
What sets Ashton & Price apart from other injury law firms? I'll tell you. From beginning to end, all important legal decisions are made directly between our clients and their experienced local attorney. A gate agent flying the plane, the receptionist performing surgery, not a chance. There's simply no substitute for the unique power of the direct attorney-client relationship offered by Ashton & Price. And there's never a fee until we win, and between you and me, we win a lot.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
It's time to turn up the volume on live entertainment. Check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar for the hottest events and shows coming your way. On February 18th, catch the incredible Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades. His powerful vocals and raw talent will leave you speechless. Then gear up for an adrenaline-packed night with a Thunder Showdown boxing event at Thunder Valley on March 8th. Who will come out on top in the ring? Be there to find out. On March 9th, don't miss the legendary John Oates live at the Crest Theater, bringing you iconic hits and timeless melodies. If you're a country fan, mark your calendar for March 16th, when Alexandra Kay brings her heartfelt songs to Ace of Spades for an unforgettable evening. And on March 29th, get ready to rock the night away as Papa Roach and Rise Against take over the Golden One Center with an electrifying performance. Don't miss these amazing events. For more information and your chance to win tickets, head to sacktownsports.com. Sacktown Sports, your front row seat to the Sacramento area's best live entertainment.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Christopher Laud. Kings lose to Philadelphia, 117-104. And Jason, you've got the sounds of Gary Gerald to take us through. We do it win or lose. Take us through everything from last night.
I do. So let's do it. Again, we mentioned Philly. Kings were trying to get the season sweep. Philly was playing the second night of a back-to-back, though they had won 3 in a row coming in, even without some of their key players. They didn't have Paul George. They didn't have Embiid. They didn't have Drummond. They didn't have others. So let's do it at the beginning of the game. Here's Domantas Sabonis doing what he normally does. In fact, we mentioned it earlier, only took 6 shots. Here's one of them.
2:20 to play here in this first quarter. Monk drives in the lane. Backdoor cut. Herter swings it out now to Sabonis. He'll try for 3. Score the triple. So the Kings have gone back to back on 3-pointers after missing 7 of the first 8. That makes it 25-16. That is Sacramento's biggest advantage thus far this evening.
Yeah, so a 9-point lead, feeling pretty good on the road, trying to establish things. But by the end of the first, they were only up 2. So we go to the second quarter and been in the starting lineup for a while now. Malik Monk doing some good things for the Kings last night.
Here's Malik Monk driving inside. Challenge, scores, and he was fouled.
Well, and one there for the very vocal Malik Monk.
Why has nobody sponsored that, by the way? Like, you seriously would get, like, to have G-Man every single time you hear Malik say, and one, and then he says, and that is your, Hoblet Dodge and one of the game. Like, honestly, Jason, you're probably getting 3-4 mentions per broadcast.
At least, and usually, well, I guess sometimes because it may not always be clean.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point.
By the end of the half, though, some of that equity the Kings had built up was now gone, and Philly going into the half would get one more hoop to take the lead.
5 seconds to go. Maxey spins, fades, fires, and scores at the buzzer. And Philadelphia has a 4-point lead at halftime. Tyrese Maxey, 7 of 14 in the first half, 17 points.
Yeah, they actually extended the lead. So right then, Dave, I'm thinking, all right. I mean, down 4, certainly you can win the game, but why are they down 4? Why are they down 4 to these guys? Right?
Well, Yeah. You this was a winnable game. That's what's unfortunate. And we're going to talk about this later, Jason. I think this is really where, Doug's going to have to do some work. And I'm not saying he can't. I certainly think he can, but this is where you're really going to need some psychology here.
For sure. And I would say, look, there was more things that went wrong, that they did poorly. Philadelphia did better than them. I thought there was one thing that's happened a little bit more lately that I've liked that happened again yesterday. Keegan Murray did not make a 3. He didn't shoot. I think he was 0 for 4, 0 for 5. But he did find other ways, and he was aggressive. He had some good back cuts. He was getting to the basket, playing physical. And I think there's more for Keegan's game. He can do a lot more of this, but this was a nice, amongst many in the second half, of nice cuts and takes by Keegan Murray.
Fox run to the right corner. Keegan digs into the paint, makes a spin. Two-hand flush off the spin will result in a Philadelphia timeout. And Sacramento has suddenly, after going down by 6 in the opening possession of the third quarter, leading by 5. It's a 13-4 run for the Kings.
All right, the run would get even better and extend to a game-high lead after this 3 by Keon Ellis.
Ball knocked out of his hands. Herter comes up with it, feeds it ahead to Sabonis. Ball fake, now kicks to Keon Ellis. Left corner 3. He scores the triple. It's the biggest lead of the evening for Sacramento. On top now by a dozen. They lead 80-68 as Keon Ellis knocked down his second three-pointer. He has 6 points.
So that was the moment, like, okay, they're about to totally take control of the game, take care of business. Took a while to do it, but here they go. They're going to do it. From that point on, Philly went on a run. They were down 12, as you heard there. 30-9 run from the third over to the fourth. Here's Kyle Lowry.
The screen missed by Jackson, but he gets his own miss and feeds it out to Lowry. Steps into 3 and nails it. And now Philadelphia has made their 10th three-pointer.
And then at some point, you got to get a play that feels like it's lights out, dagger time. Philly would get it from their star last night, Maxey.
Yabusele to Maxey, finds the seam, drives inside, up and down, turn out the lights. This ball game is over. Minute 14 to go. It's 112-110.
We got to turn out the lights. We got to warm up the jets. All these things. Just one last piece of business to wrap things up from Philly.
Boy, this is just a painful loss for Doug Christie and the Sacramento Kings. After leading by 12 in the third quarter at 80-68, the Kings come down the stretch, couldn't make shots, just 1-3 after another, and the final score ends up being 117-104. And for the 7th consecutive time here at the Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia has beaten the Sacramento Kings.
I was thinking about the, kind of season-long themes, Dave, that some have been fixed, I would say, like they were losing close games. They've done much better in that department in the last month or so. But rearing its ugly head pretty consistently, poor shooting, specifically beyond the arc, and bench play. And those were major, major factors yesterday.
Yeah, bench play, I guess. When you heard that Keon Ellis 3, that represented half his points in 18 minutes. Kevin Herter actually was 2 of 5. He had 5 points in 10 minutes. Okay. And Trey Lyles, 2 of 3 in 15 minutes. Look, I hate to say this because I actually think he's a cool dude, but again, couldn't matter less. So I say this with absolutely nothing personal involved whatsoever. But I would be fine with not seeing Alex Len play any more minutes ever.
And honestly, I know what you mean by that. I think last night, honestly, was a rare mistake in that department to play. Like Sabonis needs a break. He doesn't need to play all 48 minutes, but Dave, they weren't big. That was a day you could comfortably play small. You could have played Lyles those Alex Len minutes, and the non-Sabonis minutes last night, the Kings were crushed. And Sabonis can't play every minute. That's back to the bench depth, but I think playing Len was actually just a mistake last night specifically. So it's too bad they got burned by that. And he didn't play as much in the second half, but his run in the first half, it was not productive at all for the Kings.
No, he played 4 minutes and he was -8. Like that's really hard to do. Now, again, I don't want to use plus minus for my argument and then poo-poo it, the other day, which I did, but it's just in 4 minutes, the Kings were outscored by 8. And you look at a guy like Domantas Sabonis, both he and Malik Monk were at +2 in the minutes they played. And you're right, they need they need a break. The thing is not that he was great, but Alex Len should get none of those minutes if Trey Lyles is healthy. And Trey Lyles played 15 minutes last night. He had 4 points, but he was 2 of 3. He also had 5 rebounds and 2 assists in 15 minutes. Like that extrapolate that to the starters averaged 38 minutes last night. If you extrapolate Trey Lyles' minutes to 30, that's 8 points, 10 boards, and 4 assists. That's a hell of a good night off the bench, which he, of course, wouldn't get 30 minutes off the bench. But you get my point. Yeah. He's productive with his time. The problem, Jason, is they just, no offense, guys, they don't have a bench. Devin Carter, 3 minutes, 0-1. He's hitting a rookie wall after like 8 games. Jay Crowder, McLaughlin, Jones, they're pretty much out of the rotation. Herter had missed a game just with a DNP. And again, we were screaming it going into the season. We were screaming it during the season. We're still screaming it. It's going to catch up to them. It's costing them games because the front office went into the season with no bench help, and they still have not gotten any bench help.
Yeah, and last night, use the stat when you want to, right? Plus, minus. But the minute Sabonis was on the floor, he was a +2 in a game you lose by 13, and he played the majority of the game. So in just his less than 8 minutes, the Kings were outscored by 15 points. So he's valuable. There's other guys that are valuable to the team, but that combination of when they went to the bench, specifically in that second quarter after they built that 9-point lead, lost it for them, and then other times when they sprinkled in the bench. And you don't have to just score. We're always going to look at points, but a guy like Keon's a good example. He may not have to score a ton off the bench, but we know Keon's defending. He's impacting the game in other ways, steals and rebounds and such. But when you go out there and like a Herter, McDermott, sometimes, Carter or Len in this case, if you don't score, fine. But what else are they doing? And I find a lot of times there's not a lot else there from those guys.
And shockingly, they were outscored from beyond the arc 41 to 24%. I mean, on one hand, I go, okay, whatever. But here's the other thing. We have been screaming about this team sucking from beyond the arc for somewhere around 47 games. Why are they still taking 43s a night?
Mm-hmm.
What are we? I don't know.
It's a consistent theme. I remember Mike Brown would say it after games. Doug was happy with the number of threes. Like that's the number they want to get to. And it's like, I think they believe they're better 3-point shooters than they are.
I would think so too. At some point, you would think that, but
yeah. But last night too, back to that point specifically, if last night was the night they took 20 and pointed everything towards the paint, that was the night to do it with the weak interior that Philly had. Weaker, I should say.
Well, let's take a quick look here. By the way, the Sacramento Kings surprisingly are 22nd in the league in 3-point percentage, which actually kind of surprises me. I didn't think they'd be that good, but Charlotte, New Orleans, Atlanta, Portland, the Wizards are the teams behind them. They're all phenomenal. I don't know, man. I just don't know. We'll take a break. Oh, by the way, the Kings are 9th overall from the field, which, by the way, includes that crappy 3-point percentage. So if you took away all their threes, they're probably leading the league in field goal percentage. And a lot of that is because of DeMontis Sabonis. We'll take a break.
Break up the mids.
When we come back, and DeMar DeRozan, I apologize. When we come back, we'll get back into the Fox drama. He did speak yesterday to the media. And look, does he actually want to stay? And I put out a poll yesterday where do you blame Fox or the team more? I'll give you those results. It just completely, when it comes to the fan base, it has just sapped the energy out of any positivity we've had. And the problem there is that your furnace could be having issues right now. You have no real way of knowing that unless something really, really goes bad. So why not hit up my friends at American Energy Heating and Air, who right now can give you a tune-up / checkup of your furnace. $49. Normally it's $119, and this deal isn't going to last forever, by the way. Normally $119, now $49. And by the way, if you need a new furnace, half off a new unit. How about that? Also, if you just need a repair, you don't need a new furnace. $50 off your first repair. Sounds good to me, especially from a company that's been around since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You know what I'm talking about. Give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll get back into this Fox drama next.
Saturday night, Kings and Thunder. Team night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
On Wednesday, March 5th, Sacramento is where the best wrestle as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite and Collision. 2 of professional wrestling's biggest shows all in one night. Be there live as AEW returns to Sacramento for the first time in 2 years for the final 2 shows before AEW Revolution.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite and Collision from Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. Wednesday, March 5th. Tickets on sale this Friday starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like, wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Fall head over boots in love with music this Valentine's Day. Get ready for Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, returning May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, and more. Enjoy food trucks, mechanical bulls, and line dancing. Tickets start at just $52. Visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club. Don't just say, I love you. Show it with music. Buy tickets now.
waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. I guess we got a quick segment here, and we'll get to a little more of this. But Jason, De'Aaron Fox spoke a little bit yesterday, you know, and some of the stuff he said was pretty interesting. But I am glad at least it's not. I was a little worried, and I would completely get it. I was a little worried there'd be a media blackout from him while all this was going on. But, you know, he spoke to Chris Biederman, amongst others, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, he did answer. The interesting thing is he answered about 95% of the questions asked, and the one he chose not to I found interesting. And that, just to fill people in, was basically more about the in a roundabout way, lack of the front office speaking after the Mike Brown departure, and he didn't really want to get into that. But everything else he answered, which, you know, credit to De'Aaron. De'Aaron's always been a straightforward guy. I've appreciated that about him.
And you pointed out the exact right thing. You know, he said, amongst other things, in the business of basketball, you can't have too much emotion. Things around me change. You all know stories about Sacramento. You've been there. I'm fine. You know, he did say he did have a preferred destination. He wouldn't be surprised if he got dealt before the trade deadline. Quote, I expect the unexpected. I think crazier things have happened. But of course, when he was asked about, hey, I'm paraphrasing here, but did it bother you when Mike was fired that, you know, they kind of hung you out to dry? No public comments. And that's what he said. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, which actually I think is kind of a professional answer. Because look, I'm not in the business. In fact, I actively avoid assuming what somebody means when they say no comment. Look, I would bet all the money in my pockets and all the money in your pockets, Jason, that he didn't want to get into it, because if he got into it, that's exactly what it would be. They hit it right on the head. Yeah, of course it pissed him off. Of course it was low class, not just the way they handled the Mike Brown firing, but also the way they hung him out to dry. That's the only reason he's not going to answer that, and because he's kind of trying to be classy. So this is all going to go into a little bit later on when we talk about this, and just all the way, you know, I'm seeing a lot of stuff here, and people can feel how they want. I'm not going to try to convince people of stuff, but for me, my opinion, where I'm coming from, I just don't understand how you blame Fox in this situation. I personally would like somebody to talk me through that, because I don't get how you blame De'Aaron Fox pretty much in any way over what's going on. So we'll get to that a little bit later. We'll take a break when we come back. Jason, how about a Kings Rewind? Let's
do it. It's more fun when they win, but hey, you know what? They didn't, but we'll tell you how it all happened.
Kings Rewind coming up next.
Live and local.
with everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco. A ball. George went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Do you have an invention idea but don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp now for free information on how to get started today. InventHelp provides invention services that help everyday inventors get started with their idea. We have representatives nationwide who will explain the InventHelp process step by step. Over 10,000 patents have been secured through InventHelp's patent referral services. Our services include professional materials needed to showcase your invention, and 3D animation and prototype modeling that help you demonstrate your idea. Get down to the details of your idea with a technical drawing. The InventHelp Data Bank includes thousands of companies who have agreed to review new ideas. We've been helping inventors since 1984. Let's help you next. Take advantage of the opportunity to get started today.
Call 1-800-217-4380. That's 1-800-217-4380. Again, 1-800-217-4380.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. We can help you save on the right oil for your vehicle. Right now, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic or Castrol Edge Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $35.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Sun is shining, the chairlifts are spinning. That's right, stellar weather here at Palisades. What are you waiting for? Hop in your Toyota and head on up here. I'm Johnny Mosley, and this is your Thursday Toyota Tahoe Report.
Thanks, Johnny. Today will be sunny with a high near 49 and calm winds. Tonight will be partially cloudy with a low around 30. And tomorrow, get your gear ready with a chance of rain and snow. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and, of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's ALSCO.com.
The good news? You finally lost the excess weight and found the body you knew was hiding underneath it all along. The better news? InShape Fitness is here to help you maintain your new look and, dare we say it, enjoy the process. InShape has everything you need to build muscle and help keep the weight off. From fitness classes and personal trainers to swimming pools and saunas. Plus, plenty of full-length mirrors to admire your new self along the way. We are in shape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-990-1551. That's 800-990-1551.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Advanced Infusion Center, where we prioritize your comfort and well-being. Whether you're managing a chronic condition or seeking specialized IV therapy, our state-of-the-art center offers tailored solutions to meet your needs. Advanced Infusion Center's dedicated healthcare professionals are here to ensure your safety and provide personalized care. Conveniently located in Sacramento and Yuba City with flexible scheduling options. Experience a new standard in infusion therapy. Visit Advanced Infusion Center today at advancedinfusion.com.
Hey, it's Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, and the regular season is over, but the high hand bonuses, those are not. $500 per primetime football game, whether it's weekend, Monday night, whatever it may be. And those bonuses, available until the season ends, including the big game on February 9th. Capital Casino, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Roth, Chris Verlot, all the way till 10 a.m. 3 for Madness coming up next. Kelly Brothers at 7:28, Sam Amick at 8 a.m. We'll get a double dose of Sam. And as always, during trade deadlines, and we'll repeat this during the or before the interview as well, we're always prepared for the possibility of Sam having to hop off because things are happening, although I always encourage him to just put the phone on speaker and let us all listen together. He doesn't like to do that, though, Jason.
I appreciate that. Sam's always commits to us for the most part, but we get it. If something happens, we get it.
You and Chris have put together a little ditty we like to call Kings Rewind. Some say it's the most popular segment in all of sports radio. And there was a game last night, unfortunately a loss, but that doesn't mean we don't have highlights and sound clips. It's Kings Rewind right now.
Well, Wednesday's game in Philadelphia became a difficult one for Kings fans to focus on based on all the noise that was surrounding the team the previous day and a half. I think that describes our show yesterday.
Okay, please don't ever do that again. That made me want to die.
Kings fans are constantly wanting more national attention. Well, careful what you wish for, because right now, De'Aaron Fox and Sacramento, they are on center stage.
I thought you came here looking for a challenge. Duh! A challenge I could do.
Well, the face of the franchise and one of the all-time great Sacramento Kings is on the top of the trade deadline board with the target date now just 1 week away.
What does the fox say?
Could Fox and his teammates just lock in on the game ahead and put aside all that other stuff?
You better lock it up. You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Well, Philadelphia, meanwhile, they had other issues like healthy bodies.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate that.
Well, the Sixers, who had won 3 in a row, and the night before beat up on the Lakers, they were going to play without Joel Embiid, Andre Drummond, Paul George, KJ Martin, Caleb Martin, and Jared McCain.
And I said, that's good. One less thing.
Advantage, Sacramento?
Finally!
Well, in the opening quarter, the Kings followed the lead of Malik Monk, who scored a dozen and helped the Kings to a 2-point lead.
I'm a pizza guy.
The second quarter would be the first time of the night that Domantas Sabonis would go to the bench, and the non-Sabonis minutes would prove to be a major problem.
Identify the problem, fix it. Identify another problem, fix it. Repeat as necessary until it's all fixed.
Another issue for the Kings continues as their bench is lacking production and now playing time. The Kings bench was outscored on the night 40-15.
That's not good.
Sacramento trailed by 4 at the half, but hit the Sixers with a quick blitz in the third and opened up a 12-point lead at 80-68.
You blitz all night.
It felt like the Kings were moments away from breaking the game wide open and splitting their first 4 games of the road trip.
You know who you are? Even Steven.
Instead, the Sixers countered with a 30-9 run that took the game into the fourth quarter. So Philly went from down 12 to up 9 with under 9 minutes to go.
What the f***? What the f***?
Well, the Kings tried zone. They tried man-to-man, but in the end, the Kings weren't getting enough stops, and they continued to miss shot after shot.
What should I do? What should I do?
Sabonis lands on a triple-double again, but that's not enough as the Kings earned a very disappointing loss.
It's true, but he shouldn't say it.
The Kings are now 1-3 on the road trip and now back to just one game over 500.
Hey, stop it!
With 7 days to go before the deadline and 3 games in that span, it feels like the off-the-court noise is more powerful than anything they could do on the floor.
You shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Wow. Up next, the Kings go to Oklahoma City to face the West's best in the OKC Thunder on Saturday.
You can't get me Thunder because you're just God's first.
And that is how it went yesterday in Philadelphia.
Hey, there we go.
Hey,
all right.
They go to OKC to play the Thunder.
You can't get me Thunder because you're just God's first.
So, what do we have here? 6 minutes left? Right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Okay. So, I asked the chat because I wanted to address this. What has De'Aaron Fox done wrong? You know, he's getting a lot of hate, but again, as we always talk about, the loud minority often outweighs the quieter majority. If you took our chat as a measure of how Kings fans feel, you would think that for the most part, if not incredibly, the majority blame De'Aaron Fox for this mess. You know, it's on him. When you ask the people outside of this chat, and by the way, these are people on Twitter, which also I think if you asked, for example, 18,000 people at Golden One Center, some of which don't have social media, I think it would actually be even different. But even on Twitter, which in itself is a cesspool. So like I like to on the and the level of cesspools, here's how I would rank them. An actual cesspool, our show chat, Twitter, and then man on the street, woman on the street, everyday Joe. That's kind of the 1, 2, 3, 4, the levels there. And psychologically, once people attach themselves to a narrative, you tend to put blinders on. Well, it's got to be because of this. I polled 2,911 people yesterday. And Jason, have you seen this poll?
I have not. Not the results, no.
The question was, who do you blame more for this situation? The Kings or De'Aaron Fox? How do you think that turned out?
I would guess Kings 63%.
Chris?
I'm going to say the Kings 72%.
81% of respondents blame the Kings.
Okay.
81%. 8 out of 10, over 8 out of 10 blame the organization. So I asked a question, what has Fox done wrong? Well, let me scroll up here. By the way, I don't think De'Aaron Fox is perfect, contrary to popular belief. De'Aaron Fox has been pouting, said somebody. Guys, push back on me. Has De'Aaron Fox been pouting?
No, I would say no.
I mean, you cover the team. You're at every game. You're in the locker room. Honestly, I'm trying to find an example of him pouting.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, no, I would not say that at all, actually.
Okay. Russell brought up the NFT rug pull. Well, I'll give you that one. There you go.
Okay.
The coin.
I've been waiting on that one.
And from what I understand, a lot of things has been made right from that.
What about the record, guys? The record, he's the star player, and they've made the playoffs once in his career and the play-in once in his career, which I would just simply say, if you're going to do that, well, then we need to blame Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah.
Equally, right?
And others, right? Just go down the list of other players. Buddy Hield back with him. Harrison Barnes. Monk. Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Fox is a part of that. Sure.
I totally get that. Look, if you're going to do that, exactly, I would just simply ask why, if you're saying he's a star of the team, well, so is Sabonis. So you got to blame. Well, then somebody else says, yeah, but De'Aaron's so careless with the ball and makes all these mistakes. Sabonis has more turnovers than he does. Why are we not blaming him? Here's one. His ego won't let him sit on the bench while his injury heals and hurts the team. That's a weird way to, again, that is an absolutely craven way to look at in a year where he has millions and millions of dollars on the line, that he's playing through pain, unlike the rest of the NBA, trying to be on the floor for his team when he could just easily get surgery, miss the rest of the season, let all this happen. He asked for a trade. Well, he technically hasn't asked for a trade. His wife said he didn't ask for a trade. His agent said he didn't ask for a trade. Sham said he didn't ask for a trade. Samuel said he didn't ask for a trade. Now let's go ahead and parse. Obviously, there's more to that part of the story. I don't want to be disingenuous. He said, I'm not signing an extension until I'm confident in the direction of this team, stability-wise, etc. We need more help. Is that any different than what you, me, and the entire fan base has been screaming?
Yeah, it's the star player saying it.
It's the star player saying it.
Which should have more impact.
And you could also say that he's done a very good job of keeping his feelings out of the public with a lot of this stuff. So the whining stuff just doesn't make sense.
And as we go to break, because again, this is really breaking my brain. It's if you think the team could be better with him traded, I respect that. If you want him to be traded at this point, I respect that. What I can't handle is some of the outlandish things towards him. Not because I haven't talked to De'Aaron Fox since media day. We're not boys. We don't hang out. And the whole idea that because I think your narrative is stupid means that there's got to be some sort of alternate motivation. I don't like the ethical questions. Let me really underline it for you guys. We're the flagship morning show, or we're the morning show on the flagship station of the Sacramento Kings. We are literally business partners with the team. I'm not speaking for anybody else on the show. One of the hosts is saying, I almost completely don't blame the player. I blame the franchise and its continued mistakes and ineptitude. Can somebody help me out as to if that's an unethical take, why I would make that? Can somebody help me when I'm defending somebody who almost certainly will be gone soon, and I'm placing blame on our actual partner? Can somebody help me as to how that benefits me or why I would do that? Now, look, I would understand if I thought it was all on Fox and it wasn't on the team. I guarantee you half the chat would be saying, oh, taking the company line. Oh, he's a shill. What possibly would, this is not a winning point for me. This is not the take to have. That's not going to give me a headache off the floor. That's not going to, or off the air. That's not going to piss people off that I have to work with outside of this building. I'm not going to get, or haven't already gotten, phone calls from people where they're not exactly happy with what I'm talking about. By the way, I'm not saying that happened. I'm saying that's the world we live in. I don't care if you disagree. I care if you question the ethics behind the disagreement. De'Aaron Fox asked this team to get better. Team hasn't gotten better. He's asked the front office to make moves. They haven't made moves. They brought him the trade. His agent then said, if you're going to trade him, you should trade him sooner rather than later to get max value. And by the way, he'd like to go here. Really? We're all in the same boat, guys. We all want to win. But if you are absolutely looking past the real issue, which is the continued year upon year dysfunction of this franchise, then you're exactly like the Cowboy fans I was bitching about on Monday when I say they deserve every single year of their ineptitude. And I know I'm talking to a small minority of people there. I know that for the most part, Kings fans feel differently. But if you're just going to go and take it the whole time and just blame the player because, hey, he's rejecting us, then you deserve to lose. You deserve it. That's the bottom line. We'll take a break. When we come back, and we'll talk to Sam Amick a little bit later. Just wake the hell up, please. Quick 30-second break. Jason Ross with a word from overhead, and then we'll get to 3 for Madness next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Okay, we know the weather has been cold many nights, many mornings. We got some rain coming up, so the winter elements are here, and we want to make sure you are ready for that and that your garage doors can handle that. You got an old garage door you need fixing. You're looking for a new garage door. Well, you want to make sure you can handle that cold and don't wait for your garage door to break down on a chilly morning. So this February, Overhead Door Company of Sacramento is offering their Sweetheart Special. Check this out. $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. So don't let this winter slow you down. Visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com for your free estimate. Again, they're a terrific company. Have been providing just incredible product for people for years and years and years. How about 70 plus years? Third generation owned family business, and you will reap the benefits of working with them. They are fantastic people, great at their jobs, professionals. And again, you'll get that great curb appeal you're looking for, whether it's residential, new or used, or repairs to doors, I should say, and commercial as well. They are here to help. You can check out their website, as I mentioned earlier, at ohdsac.com. You can call them at 916-421-3747. And how about check them out in person this Friday through Sunday at Cal Expo for the 2025 National California Home Show. So they're all out there. Check them out. It's Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, coming up a bit later, and by a bit later, I mean, oh, golly, in about 10 minutes, Kelly Brothers joins us. He's good at something. He's good at business. Sam Amick at 8 a.m. We'll follow through on the timeline in which Sam will, I'm almost certainly, because we're generally on the same page, back up a lot of what we've been telling you and even expand on that. And then people will yell at him for being anti-Kings in the YouTube, on the YouTube. I looked at the YouTube comments of his clip last week, Jason, and one of the commenters,
Sam,
what they are,
yeah.
And one of the commenters was like, I don't even know. This guy hates the Kings. He hates Sacramento. And why is the guy living in L.A. covering the team anyways?
I saw that one. Yeah.
Did you see that one? Like, wait, what? Golly. You get mad at Sam Amick, then you got an issue.
He is in North L.A. in Elk Grove, I believe.
That is Northern L.A. That's a greater L.A. area.
Yeah.
In the meantime, question 1, please.
Do the Kings win another game on this road trip?
I don't think they do. I don't. I if they do, obviously, of course, I think it would be Minnesota who's having issues of their own. But if you're forcing me to guess, if they can't beat Philly in Philly, why would they beat Minnesota? Can they win another game on this road trip? Yes. And by the way, could they upset OKC? Yeah, but I honestly, if you ask me right now, which is more likely, De'Aaron Fox signs a max extension with the Kings or the Kings beat OKC in 2 days? I swear to God, I would take the max deal because they lost to the Warriors. They're back home. They're pissed off. They've had 2 nights off. They can win in Minnesota. I do not think they will.
Okay. I actually, and maybe it's being the homer or the Kings. I do think they're going to win another game, but yeah, if I'm picking that's for sure going to be Minnesota over OKC. I think every time this team, and just in general, just the way the league works, like, I don't like the way they're playing. And then they do win somewhere at some point. And this team, I think, is still kind of about this, a 500 team. So with 2 games to go, I would think they're going to get one of them. And the better chance is Minnesota. They did beat them there, played 2 great games with them here, lost them both. But yeah, I'm going to say they will get one more.
Okay, question 2.
What do you make of Fox basically saying here is still a possibility?
I think he's being honest in the sense that it's also I think it's also a possibility that the Kings could beat Oklahoma City. But I actually do think it's salvageable. I do think it's salvageable. But I think they would have. I think there's a whole process. They would have to. First off, they'd have to ask themselves if they're willing to give him a max deal. Remember when that was just the question? Hey, would you give him a max deal? And then I think they'd have to sit down and say, okay. Which, by the way, I'm sure they already have in the past. What is it we're looking for here?
Right.
And then they'd have to execute it. Then they'd have to go out and they'd have to actually do it. And then, oh, by the way, the team would have to win some ball games. So there's a lot of things in there. But I also don't think that they would have to win a championship this year. I think if they were able to either get back into the playoffs and either play a very strong, if they got back into the playoffs, Jason, and they had another 7-game series, Warrior style or whatever they lost, I still think it would be one of those, well, let's kind of wait and see, but things are on the up and up in the exit interviews type of thing. Winning fixes everything. But I also look, man, this is social media, and I talked about a loud minority, and I look at the dude's mentions. I also look at his wife's mentions as well, and some of the stuff that's being thrown at these guys from our fan base. Honest to God, dude, those aren't Kings fans, man. Those are weirdos, and it's embarrassing because right now, and I'm actually a little bit worried if he's still with this team when they come back. I think Golden One Center actually is more likely to give him a standing ovation than boo him, to be honest. I don't think it'll be either. But it's just way, way, way too personal.
Yeah, I mean, on the question of like, what do you think of the possible, or of him basically saying Sacramento is still a possibility? Yeah, of course it is, because he is a King currently. You still, if you're the Kings, you don't just give him away, but you got to have a willing partner, which seemingly there will be plenty of teams interested. You got to have a trade that makes sense for you. The irony of it, Dave, is I think what we all know and have said for months is they need help, and whether that's a starter or a ton of bench help, you can probably get a lot of that by moving De'Aaron Fox. So then it's, you address some of your needs, but then you got another gaping, huge player that you have to fill that opportunity with. So they're in a weird spot if they get through the trade deadline and add some bench depth and Fox is still here. We'll see what kind of impact that has on the team and him, but there's still a possibility, of course. I think it could be salvaged.
Number 3.
Question 3.
Is this where we really get to see Doug Christie's ability to be a psychologist?
Yeah, I think so. I do. I think this is where we get to see the metal, METTLE in Doug, and can he? It is a very vulnerable time right now for this team. You take out the Fox trauma. Now they're 11-5. They've lost. Is it 4 of 5, 3 of 4 of something in there? The honeymoon is over. The luster has worn off. Look, they're still a lot better under Doug than not. And even if they miss the next 2 on this road trip, we said the schedule opens up, but you got to keep this team together mentally as well. There's a lot of distractions going on, and I think Doug can do that. I think he can sit these guys down and say, hey, block out the noise, guys. We got a job to do. They may not win the next 2 games, Jason. I want them to, but I also am going to be looking very hard at, are they playing hard? Are they in the game? Are they focused?
Yeah, this would be, I mean, I think Doug what are the advantages of being a former player? I think one of those things would be that you've lived it. Doug literally has been traded in the NBA. He's been traded to this city. And so he knows what that's like. I think he can relate that. I think he can relate maybe what the other players are feeling. And then this is just me speaking to, this would be my personal preference. I don't think De'Aaron owes anything to us as far as, I mean, he did speak to the media yesterday. I'll give him full credit for that. I would like, I hope he's talked to his teammates, because I just don't know how, if you are someone on the Kings present day and they see all this stuff too, they want to know what's real, what's not. And if they're going, you think you'd be better off in your future than Victor Wembanyama than with me or with this player or I've been with you. So I think De'Aaron owes is the right thing, but a conversation with those guys, just a candid, again, we don't need to know about it. We don't need to hear about it. This is what I said. This is what I feel. These are my real thoughts. And I think if that's communicated fully to them, that's healthy. And so I hope that's happened. I don't know if it does. Maybe we'll never know, but that would be my personal choice.
We'll take a break. When we return, he's good at business. He's Kelly Brothers. He's going to talk to us about, what he brings to the table each and every week. He's always got a different angle on things. Today, absolutely no different. We've got the Super Bowl on the way. He's got some money behind that. And Bryson DeChambeau, the land developer. Be nice to take a little bit of a break from all this Fox drama. We'll talk to Kelly, and we'll do that when we come back next.
You'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-235-5588. That's 800-235-5588. 800-235-5588.
Wow, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Febreze.
So my home is also my office. And before I can focus, every room's gotta be clean. That means tidying up and spraying my Febreze Air Mist. Ooh, that's fresh. Febreze Air Mist scents are all high quality. They fight any weird funk, and they give my air an instant boost of freshness. So not only does my home smell good, I feel good too. After I Febreze, it's time to start my day.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
Presenting Again Fling's love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Joining us now on Sports Sense, certified financial planner Kelly Brothers. Kelly is an advisor with CapTrust, one of the nation's largest registered investment advisors. CapTrust counts among its clients numerous pro athletes and pro sports franchises, but most importantly serves many Northern Californians through comprehensive financial planning. Here's Kelly Brothers.
Good morning, Kelly Brothers. You're not trading. I mean, do you know where De'Aaron Fox is going? Because that's all we've been talking about for 2 days.
Of course I do. Of course I do. But you don't pay me enough to tell you. So yeah. I need you to double my salary. Which would leave it exactly where it is.
I'll say this. I'll say this publicly. I honestly, because I know how math works, I'm here to. I will quintuple your salary. I support it. It's not my money. It's John Bonneville's money. Pay it out, buddy.
Hashtag Kelly ally. Way to go. All right. No, I don't know. It's just sad. It's just he's just and I don't know the details of it. However, I hate to, people think I bring this up too much sometimes, but you take what would De'Aaron get in his next contract one way or another?
He'll get a max deal in his next contract,
which is.
God, I don't know.
200
5 years, 256 million, 200 something like that. I don't know. It's going to be 50+ million a year.
So, you take that, and if you're in Texas, not in California, there's an extra 35 million at least going into your pocket. At least that doesn't, that doesn't even account for endorsement stuff and everything else. So but Texas is also home, and so for him, I just want to see it kind of handled and taken care of, and remove the cloud that seems to be above everyone's head, especially after you shoot 0 for 40 from the middle of the third quarter on last night.
Too soon. Too soon.
I'm sorry.
We are a little over a week away from the Super Bowl.
And all is good too. And every year I'm a little surprised the Super Bowl hasn't gone to pay-per-view. I always expect it because people would pay it. A lot of people would pay it. Last year, 123 million people tuned in for the Super Bowl. It was the most watched U.S. broadcast of the year. It was the most watched U.S. broadcast on record. So, and now you got $8 million is the new price for 30 seconds in the Super Bowl. Last year it was $7 million. Now it is up to 8, and they sold out. And they have some new people coming in. Some of them have already released their commercials that they're going to air during the Super Bowl. But it's a phenomena, and it continues to grow in popularity.
We were talking about this the other day, but it was in regards to franchises, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, franchise values keep going up, salaries keep going up, Super Bowl ad prices keep going up every year in sports radio and beyond, and in donut shops with old men across the country. People are sipping coffee, eating their crullers, and saying, I can't believe that Ricky Henderson got $3 million over 5 years. It's going to ruin the game. And here we are today. Kelly, I mean, legitimate question. You're a finance guy, and I know you don't have all the answers, but in 25 years, are we going to be sitting here saying, De'Aaron Fox III just signed a 5-year, $2.3 billion contract for the Sacramento Kings, currently valued at $35 billion, which is crazy because Pepsi just paid $74 million for a 30-second spot at Super Bowl 130.
Obviously I think they're going to keep going up. However, there is a huge disruptive wave hitting sports right now. And it began with Liv. It began with Liv coming in Because I think we all just kind of assumed, hey, these are monopolies. The NBA is a monopoly. MLB is a monopoly. NFL is a monopoly. PGA's, they're not monopolies. So you have these situations now where LIV has come in and completely disrupted that industry. You have LeBron James' business partner raising $5 billion to start an F1 style international basketball league where you'd have men's and women's teams, but it'd be international, including Asia, including Europe, because they obviously think, well, the NBA ain't moving fast enough if they want to get the global market. And they're going to raise $5 billion, and they will, and they'll get that going. At the same time, you have Adam Silver talking about we need to chop quarters from 12 to 10 minutes because they realize, they may not be the only game in town forever. So there's new competition all the time in these various leagues and new sports popping up. We saw that with volleyball here as well. Baseball's worried about their future. So I think there will be. I think there's still there. We haven't hit the ceiling yet, Dave. That's for sure. When you consider the Super Bowl numbers I just told you, because other than that, commercials on TV, they're not going for what they went for 20 years ago, unless you have a sports product that people will sit through the commercials to get to.
You were talking about the commercials earlier, Kelly, for the Super Bowl and how some of them have been leaked. Is there obviously I guess that's for a reason, but you would think you spent all that money. Do you want that out so people see it first, or where's the element of like, wow, I hadn't seen this spot yet, and here it is, boom, big splash by Doritos or Pepsi or whatever it might be?
Yeah, you got the When Harry Met Sally spot on. That's a great question. I've always been shocked at the money that companies put into the Super Bowl commercials, and then I feel like I never see them again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they put them into some sort of rotation. So I don't know what the thinking is on that, but they have released a few of them, including the When Harry Met Sally. Hey, under the disruptive thing again, TGL this week, 864,000 viewers. That was up 27% week over week. People are beginning to find it again, disrupting kind of what had been the status quo in an industry. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that, and a lot more of it being global, not just American.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Kelly. I don't know if you saw the video. There was a YouTuber who's into all that stuff and all the equipment, and he was saying TGL is kind of screwed. Like it's a false positive right now. The numbers are actually good out of the gate, but the problem is that the actual technology behind it that's measuring the shots, where they go, the yardage and all that is not even in the top 5 when it comes to industry leaders for accuracy. And that's why you're seeing guys like Justin Thomas and Tiger Woods, hit 100-yard, 60 over the green by 20 yards. And the problem is Tiger has stake in what they're using to measure everything, so they're kind of tied into that. So at some point, because there's betting done on this, this is kind of a sitting story right now that's going to get a little bit bigger when you have technology that's just fraudulent.
Yeah, well, hopefully they don't use that for the first down chips they're going to put in the footballs here in the near future.
Got it.
You're right. The technology. That's going to tell much. Oh, hey, but going old school, I wanted to mention to you too, Bryson DeChambeau he's doing a major development in the Clovis area. His hometown, he was born in Modesto, but he grew up in Clovis. He is doing a major golf community. We're talking ranges, we're talking golf course, we're talking residential, a multi-sports complex. He says that that they're pulling permits now for it. He has the money, and he says it will increase the size of Clovis by 30%. So wow. Bryson DeChambeau is putting his money where his mouth is when it comes to his hometown, and is getting something up and running there. I'm not sure what it's going to look like, but it sounds like Sun City, but not necessarily just for retirement folks.
Wow, like an entire community there. Like that's
it's a master plan community with well over 100 acres, and he's only kind of letting this out now because they're pulling the permits, and some of the Fresno stations are reporting on it. But it's a 3-phase plan, I think, over the next 9 years or something like that. But It's residential, it's commercial, and it's a lot of golf.
It's funny. I've wondered that before, and this is Genius by Bryson DeChambeau. My parents live in Sun City. I love playing the Lincoln course at their Sun City, and it's like and I'm not saying there aren't any, but how we haven't had more old people facilities or communities that are signature facilities in other words, I don't know who the hell Del Webb is, and I'll bet you he wasn't a scratch golfer, but if I'm going, if I have the opportunity when I get to that age sooner rather than later to go hang out in the, Bryson DeChambeau, old folks community with an 18-hole course that he helped design, that's an attractive thing.
Yeah, and I don't think it's just for retirement folks. I think they want to get young families in there too, where kids play golf every day. If you've ever, I don't know. I just remember a few times we'd rent a place on a golf course, and I'll tell you what, man, there is nothing better than with the sun going down in the summer to be out there in your bare feet chipping up to a green because it's right outside your back door. I mean, it's. He's I don't know his full vision here, but it's something, and it's going to change Clovis in a significant way. But I think it's more. I don't think it's retirement oriented. I think it's he wants all ages in that place.
Nice.
I mean, honestly, is it weird that the older I do get, though? Like, I remember growing up my whole life and being like, God, I don't want to live in one of the. Can you imagine those people living in those old folks places? Like, that's weird. And now it's like I go to my parents' house and there's like the golf cart in the garage and Timber Creek's across the street. And they have like a little restaurant there with activities and a pool and a gym. And I come home and I try to block it out of my head. But on the drive home, I'm like, wow, I got to be honest, man. Get in the car, meet the buddies down at hole 1, my little golf cart, then go to the lodge for lunch. Like,
that's
this
good
is
living.
Great. I love this.
It is. If you can, I mean, and any doctor will tell you when you're in that age range, connection is what keeps you going. Being around people and having connections to other people. And sadly, a lot of people, once they hit those upper age range, they're isolated. They're on their own. But in those communities, man, there's something always going on. And, it shocks me still that I'm 10 years past being eligible to move into the damn place.
Wow. Jason, you've enjoyed it, right?
Hey, watch it.
Kelly, Jason's like 6 months older than me. That's what's funny about that.
He walks around wearing his stove top hat, dude. He's very.
You saw me. You saw me. Okay.
You read any of the stories about the villages in Florida? They are hilarious, and they need an entire show based on the villages.
That's a whole. Yeah, that's a whole entirely different show. The good old villages in Florida. Oh my goodness. Have a good one, Kelly. We'll talk to you
guys.
next week.
Peace out.
All right. Take care. We'll take a break. When we come back, let's get back into the Kings. We've got the Jiffy Lube driving the game. And if you're going to trade De'Aaron Fox, there's a couple of different roads you can go, Jason. I'm going to ask you in the audience as well which one you want to go down. 2 roads diverged in Yellowwood. We'll figure out which one we go down next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Right now at Wendy's, get 2 of these fave items for just $7. The spicier classic chicken sandwich, Dave's single, or 10-piece nugs. It's an incredible deal, but an insanely difficult choice. Do you go double chicky sando, both spicy and classic, 1 beefy and 1 chicky? Or maybe you go all in on one and go Nug Max. 2 faves for just $7? Gotta be Wendy's.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time only. Select a request 2 for $7 deal to redeem. Not valid in a combo or with saucy nugs. Single item at regular price. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from jiffylube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Sun is shining, the chairlifts are spinning. That's right, stellar weather here at Palisades. What are you waiting for? Hop in your Toyota and head on up here. I'm Johnny Mosley, and this is your Thursday Toyota Tahoe Report.
Thanks, Johnny. Today will be sunny with a high near 49 and calm winds. Tonight will be partially cloudy with a low around 30. And tomorrow, get your gear ready with a chance of rain and snow. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
On Wednesday, March 5th, Sacramento is where the best wrestle as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite and Collision, 2 of professional wrestling's biggest shows all in one night. Be there live as AEW returns to Sacramento for the first time in 2 years for the final 2 shows before AEW Revolution.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite and Collision from Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. Wednesday, March 5th. Tickets on sale this Friday starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, the ultimate lunch lineup boasts wall-to-wall sports and scenic views. When you're hungry and in a hurry, the Scratch Kitchen delivers lunch in the clutch. I mean, where else can you order a 29-degree draft beer and a quickie combo on your lunch break? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Christopher Laud, and a very passionate chat at 1-800-920-1140. I couldn't get the door open. Sorry for being late.
Were you locked in the bathroom?
No, I was. There's a in the room I'm in. There's a key that goes in the. Sometimes the door locks on its own, and when you close it, and there's a key that you just kind of leave in the keyhole. And I got back, and the door was locked, and the key wasn't in the keyhole. And so I asked the person at the desk next to it, "Where is it?" And or if they knew, and they didn't. And then it took me a second to realize I for some reason, put it in my pocket. Remember yesterday when I had the wrong wire plugged in? It just.
Are you on goofball pills or something?
I am 100% on goofball pills. 1-800-920-1140, 916-339. Let me take care of some of the chat situations here. Polanco P, love you, buddy. Please keep listening. But the strain was too much for him to bear. Remember, if you're coming in, no problem with disagreements. Absolutely no problem with disagreements, passionate disagreements even, but let's not spam, please. Don't spam and forward the conversation, if you would. Jason?
Yes.
Do we have, you got some business to take care of here, I believe.
We do have people ready to chime in on the Jiffy Lube drive of the game. And as you know, if you get this correct, you'll win a $100 gift card courtesy of our friends from Jiffy Lube. So let's see how Daniel does. Daniel, welcome in. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Great. Do you know the Jiffy Lube drive of the game, Daniel?
I sure hope so. I think I got it. I believe it was when Keon Ellis stole the ball and led to a Keegan Murray two-hand slam.
Keon Steele to a Keegan slam. Two hands, by the way. Well, Dave, let's see if Daniel is right.
6 on the possession. Finds DeRozan, looks for the cutter. It's Sabonis. Drive, drops to Ellis. 1 on the clock. Pump fake, turns, fires. This one does not come up with the magic now, but Keon with a backcourt steal and a bad pass from Newberry gives to Keegan. Strong to the rack with a flying two-hand flush, and that is your Jiffy Lube drive of the game. You're listening to the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross tomorrow morning, 7:45. Your chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. It was a steal by Keon Ellis, and then a pass to an aggressively cutting Keegan Murray, and Murray delivered the flush.
Well done.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Well, hey, look, well done. You got yourself a $100 gift card to go to Jiffy Lube, whether you want your oil change, whether you want your windshield wipers replaced, and so many other things that they do. Just really do Jason a favor, myself as well, Chris a little bit. Can you tell us what morning radio station or show, I should say, makes all your Jiffy Lube dreams come true?
Sacktown Sports 1140.
Nicely done, Daniel. Hang on.
Perfect.
There you go. Well done.
That is well done, Jason Ross.
You're training them one by one, Dave. One by one.
Honestly, it's been a while since we've had like Hot Talk 1140.
Yes.
Which we will now get the next time.
Yeah, of course.
Don't forget, by the way, Sam Amick coming up in just 8 minutes. Here's a question I have for you, Jason, and I'd like to pose to we've spent a lot of time on whose fault is it, who's to blame, should we trade him, should we not trade him, oh my God, who should we get, blah, 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 blah. Let me ask you this. The Kings right now, and we can all agree that the goal, of course, is a championship, but we've got to be realistic. I could be wrong. I don't think the Kings are going to win a title this year, but you got to start somewhere. And I think we could all agree it'd be nice to have a little playoff experience, a run, this, that, whatever. But they are 24-23. They are 6 games over the halfway point of the season. And a lot of things could happen. If you're Monty McNair, and I know that the answer is, well, it depends on what you get. But if you're going to trade De'Aaron Fox, are you looking to trade him and acquire players that will help you? Is your goal to try to augment this team and get in the playoffs? And that's let's say that's one offer you have. The other offer is also tremendous, but it involves a lot of things that you can utilize to build for the future, i.e. young, talented players that just aren't there yet, draft picks that may net not improve you right now, but will help you would hope, down the road. What I'm trying to say is there's 2 roads to go down. There's the augment the team and push road, or there's the we're punting on this season. We're just going to get out of this sucker. We're not going to necessarily go full rebuild, but we're going to start moving in a direction where we really start trying to bring in this next generation where we can actually push for a championship in a couple years.
Yeah, and again, there's probably some nuance in between those two roads, because I'm thinking, even if you got a player or two back and more draft pick centered, I guess, and maybe fringe players is maybe more of a better descriptor, I still think that could be a road that could help even a little bit in the now, depending on how that all lands. But I guess the bigger way would be, Dave, like if it was a Donovan Mitchell one where it was like just draft picks coming. Right. And you're like, okay, that's not going to do anything this year. I would say everything that they have done in the last couple of years, seemingly on appearances, has been to be as competitive now as well as not crushing the future. So my best guess on the road, if they explore that, would be something like that, where you're trying to get as much talent back as close to Fox's level, which is going to be really difficult to do. So keeping this thing going forward with a little sprinkle in of future assets. That would be, to me, the needle they're trying to thread. That's my best guess, but I guess that's kind of splitting your two directions there.
Well, and my question is a philosophical one, because there's no doubt they want win now, win soon pieces. In fact, Shams reported on that a couple days ago. That's anyone who follows this team knows that there is no appetite to rebuild. There's no appetite to step back. They very, very much want to push. My issue is, and this is for old heads out there, I just don't want to move into the later years Jeff Petrie, Mikey Moore, MLE every year conversation where you're just desperately trying to stay in the playoffs and you're stuck between the 6-7 seed and the play-in, and your ceiling is the 6 and your floor is being out of the playoffs. I personally would rather take a big step back, miss it all, and come back strong, kind of like on a Houston Rockets trajectory, what the Thunder did when they traded Paul George. If you told me, obviously, that trading De'Aaron Fox could net you a type of boost, not even a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the trade, but something that's in that vicinity, sign me up all day long. The problem is, you and I both know that ain't what this front office is going to do.
Yeah, and that OKC is really rare. I mean, I think there's way more examples of trading an all-star and the return of the multiple players just generally doesn't net the same kind of results. Doesn't mean it can't happen, in OKC's the perfect example, because you're going, man, you're trading Paul George? Yeah, you got some picks. SGA might be a nice player. Well, he's incredible. I mean, that's such a huge win for them. And that's going to be a big part of the reason why they're going to be what they are now and serious contenders for a while.
Well, Sam Amick's a big part of the reason why we're going to step aside and take a quick break. When we come back, Sam's all over this story. We're going to recap the timeline. We're going to talk about, we'll get all back into this drama. We'll step aside. We know you're not going anywhere. Sam Amick is next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So you've got an oil change coming up. We can help you save on the right oil for your vehicle. Right now, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic or Castrol Edge Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil with an STP Extended Life Oil Filter for just $35.99. Visit one of our 6,000 stores or order from AutoZone.com for same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CR-V, HR-V, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884. What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the Start Something New sales event?
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4x8 plug-in for as low as $319 a month. For 42 months with $39.95 due at signing. Plus, with 56 MPGE, you'll save thousands at the pump.
And in one of America's favorite SUVs.
Exactly. And that's not it. Not only do we have great deals on new Jeeps, but the Hoblet Family Dealers is growing with a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 200 used vehicles available and 40 under $20,000.
Get the new Jeep your family needs. It's waiting at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Lease a $319 for 42 months before tax and license. Must be California resident for rebates, including $7,500 SFS hybrid electric federal tax credit and $2,500 West SFS lease cash. Must finance through Stellantis. $39.95 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. 30 cents per mile over. Tax and license extra. 5 of this net savings. Sample MSRP 62,225 VIN 681180. See dealer for details.
Fall head over boots in love with music this Valentine's Day. Get ready for Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, returning May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, and more. Enjoy food trucks, mechanical bulls, and line dancing. Tickets start at just $52. Visit CITPfest.com. Brought to you by Hyatt Vacation Club. Don't just say, I love you. Show it with music. Buy tickets now.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, welcome back. There's a lot going on, so no screwing around. Joining us right now from The Athletic, the one, the only.
Not just yet. Not just
and
yet.
by joining us right now, I mean momentarily.
Yes.
He joins us each and every Thursday.
Yeah.
As we are halfway through the program, just after 8 a.m. Hey, how's the weather out there, by the way?
It's good. It's a little chilly. It's
cold.
Yeah, it's cold. It's supposed to be raining, I think, starting tomorrow for a couple days.
Oh.
Or chances of rain. Yeah. So you'll be coming back to some rain possibility.
Yeah, be coming right back. Well, I'm already coming back to stormy conditions.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure. Yeah. And I think we got.
I said that because of all this stuff going on with De'Aaron Fox. That's why I said it. As we welcome in, there he is. I see him. The one, the only, the wearing the same exact hoodie I wore through junior high and high school, and that's not an insult. I appreciate the throwback. Billabong, TNC, in Santa Cruz. Sam Amick. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, gentlemen. We're on the phone here. I'm trying to make you bigger. How's everybody doing?
Well, there's a lot of things I could say there. I'm good. How are you doing? How are you doing, buddy?
You're a child.
I am.
100%. I'm good. We're trying to keep up with the madness, but good to be with you guys.
Sam, I'll just start with this. You know, there's a lot of back and forth on what's been happening, and I seem to be landing on, you know, after saying that we should have traded Fox just before the Tyrese Halliburton trade once upon a time and getting killed for that. Now I'm getting killed on the other side in part because in no way is Fox perfect, and no way has he been perfect, but I really am landing on the dysfunction of the franchise is where my anger is directed, coming from. We could go down the list, but we don't have enough time. But I think a lot of it still stems from the way they handled, the coaching situation with Mike Brown's exit, not the firing, but the way it was handled. And now this and everything that's led to it. And Sam, I can't help that some of this drama, not all of it, but a little bit of it at least, is stemming from the way they handled that coaching situation. They just don't seem to do themselves any favors.
First of all, buddy, you're Mr. Big Picture. Don't be angry. I mean, Melissa's good. Avery, Mason, come on. You got a lot going on. This is a basketball team. You'll be okay.
By the way, Melissa and Avery both have norovirus right now, but I digress.
As I laugh at their sickness. Sorry, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
Anyway, yeah.
I'm going to push back because I hear you. And I think, some of that stuff you're hitting on is salt in the wound for Kings fans, to be sure. But I don't know, man. I've been singing the same song with you guys for months now, and I'm in the minority, and I'm now that guy that's at the top of the mountain going, I was trying to tell everybody this is where it was at, because even independent of those subplots, the very basic stuff here is that, Fox has been signaling for a while that he had serious concerns about the ceiling. Just, this is the straightforward stuff, the basketball ceiling of this group. And to me, I have since kind of tried to dig deeper on that. And I think there's a conversation to be had here about spotlight for an individual star player and how big or small it might be in relation to the team's profile. And I think at 27 years old and going back to even 26 years old, that he started reading the room and saying, man, I'm too good to be overlooked, in the way that I am. So unless they are top 4 in the West, like they were 2 years ago, they're only going to get maximum one All-Star. They're only going to get, so much attention. And really that's likely going to be going towards Domas. So that's the less salacious stuff. Everything you're hitting on, is the human component that may have played a part. They have absolutely stepped in it multiple times, I think, when it comes to De'Aaron, and left him, I think, hanging out to dry. I mean, I've written it, and the fact that, even when they fired Mike, I wrote that, I think they just made it worse. The writing was on the wall even more than before, and now here we are.
So the ceiling obviously hasn't changed. Maybe it can. By the deadline next week. I don't know how much that can, but do you think, Sam, then that he and his group feels like they're better off than if they do this quicker and maybe expedite this and have this done by the deadline?
I do. And I mean, the other obvious thing to highlight here, and I'll say I do, so long as they can get him where he wants to go in San Antonio, and, or as another situation that he decides is amenable. I mean, Miami is another one that I think is worth watching. Yeah. But the where was I going with that? It's the fact. Damn it, Jay! Just got sidetracked by myself. Give me the back end of your question again.
Basically, it's do you feel like this for De'Aaron and maybe even for the Kings needs to be done then by 1 week from today?
Yeah, and I mean, I think what I was going to add to it is that by this point in the season, I think we're all confident saying that De'Aaron's not going to make All-NBA, right? That's not happening. So that's the other thing here is that, he was, as he declined these extensions from the Kings and decided what he wanted to do, obviously it was not the factor, but a factor was, well, if he makes All-NBA, then he could be looking at the Supermax. That's a ton more money. If the Kings are willing to go there, then maybe, he finds a way to rediscover his comfort level in Sacramento. That's the other thing is that unofficially he knows that's not going to happen. It continues to push the storyline down in that direction. And I think we're seeing this is a lesser version of the Jimmy Butler situation. It's not nearly as uncomfortable, but when it reaches this kind of a point, yes, I think, we're getting closer to all right, you should probably find a new home for him so that the rest of these guys excuse me, and the organization can figure out what's next, and we're getting there pretty quick with the Kings.
Can they walk this back? I don't mean can they as in can the Kings beat Oklahoma City in 2 days? I
The
mean,
Warriors did. Anybody can.
I know. I ain't betting on it. Neither are you. I mean, honestly, you hear, if you're looking for it, you hear breadcrumbs. Yesterday, he said, hey, is Sacramento out of the equation? Never say never, that type of thing. That, could Monty McNair and co. Make the moves necessary roster wise, and could this all blow over? And I'm not asking you is it an infinite possibility? I'm saying, do you see that as a legitimate possibility to throw into the hat?
Before I answered, I've read Chris Biederman's stuff in the V, which was good. Credit to him for trying to get the right answers here. But was there video of De'Aaron addressing this stuff?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it either. I was looking for the video or audio. Jason?
Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Yeah. Well, I was at least, I know Kings fans don't want to hear it. From a media standpoint, I was actually like, man, give De'Aaron some love. Like, you guys don't typically address this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of like the fact that he actually faced the music a little bit, and tried to give fans and the public some answers, because he did address specific questions. No, I don't think they can walk it back. Again, like, the phrases put to me for a long time now, it's the writing is all on the wall. It's the general idea that, like, people can be mad about it all they want. He, I don't know what number you put on it. He sees himself as I'm just going to, like, a top 15 player, and wants to get himself to a situation, where that kind of what he brings to the table can be elevated. I mean, early this season, and I know this is a simplistic way of framing it, but, like, he was legitimately, boasting this similar, if not the same, stat line as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and doing it on both ends, and the difference was you did not have a loaded, deep, versatile, balanced roster in Sacramento like Oklahoma City does. So no, I don't see a walk back. I see somebody who has decided, and it's not really with any malice. I think, you talk to people about De'Aaron. I think I've said this on the show before. It's like somebody used the word gentleman, that he's never going to walk into Monty McNair's office and flip a table over. He's not going to beat Jimmy Butler, but he obviously is kind of standing on the way he sees this situation.
Talking with Sam Amick here from The Athletic, of course, brought to you by our friends at Jiffy Lube. So, Sam, just from recent history, we had Dame Lillard very openly, seemingly wanted to go to Miami, ends up in a deal with Milwaukee. At least we hear San Antonio as De'Aaron's preferred destination. I'm sure the two parties could make it work, but would that be of best interest for the Kings? What other teams, if any, could the Kings be working with here? You mentioned Miami, but I'm sure there's several people that would be interested if the Kings want to explore this and move De'Aaron.
Yeah, I mean, if the Kings, really want to get away from uncomfortableness and dysfunction, I think Jimmy Butler's probably the way to go.
Yeah.
And I'm half kidding. We'll see what happens here. I mean, the Spurs, it's interesting. If you go back, this is a part of my job that drives me crazy, because we write about some of the behind the scenes stuff, but it's like, man, we only get like 3%, if you go back to the summertime when the Kings did the DeRozan deal, the sign and trade, I look at that now and I find it fascinating, because you have recent history where the Kings and Spurs were like really positive, capable partners. You know what I mean? And now you have a situation where, like, I think the dynamic between those two organizations is pretty healthy. And so the question is, where is that sweet spot where the Kings can extract enough from the Spurs, who have a very robust, cupboard of draft assets, and obviously a good amount of good young players, to where they could immediately pivot to their fans and say, hey, we're okay. We're still competing. We're going to keep building from here. We're going to take these draft picks and move forward. I mean, I've seen some of the speculation about possible structure of deals where, people who know what they're talking about are talking about 3-4 firsts, So if you get a good enough haul from San Antonio, because for them, if they truly believe that De'Aaron is kind of the way forward with Victor Wembanyama, then then you're in a good negotiating position, because that choice for the Spurs is monumental. Like the guy to put next to that guy, like they have to get that right. And if their level of motivation is indeed, as much as it seems, then I think, I can see a pathway to the Spurs being the way to go, even if some people might not want to put De'Aaron where he wants to be.
Sam Amick joining us. Sam, any insight, and we'll forgive you if you don't, of course, but I got to ask, it's not just De'Aaron Fox, it's also the other players. And granted, they lost in Philly yesterday after finally getting a road win, but that was over Brooklyn. They've lost 3 or 4 on this road trip. We joked about it. Doesn't get any easier against Oklahoma City, and then they have Minnesota before they come back home. Are you hearing anything about other players, their camps, people either upset with Fox, the situation, the franchise in general? What's the temperature there?
Yeah, I don't think it's great. I have talked to some people about the locker room component and how I think there is some frustration and confusion, because we sometimes underestimate the degree to which, on the one hand, these players are as close to it as anybody. On the other hand, they're trying to compete. They're trying to get up in the morning and get their treatment and get their sleep, get their rest, talk to their people, play ball, go to bed, wash, rinse, and repeat. They're not necessarily trying to, sit down with their teammate and find out, hey, why is there stuff in the media? Why is this happening now? But I do think those questions are now being asked, like, within their different camps. And because at face value, if you're one of De'Aaron's teammates, you're going to look at it and go, wait, man, like we just won like 9 out of 11 or whatever it is. Like, why did this not calm the situation down? And, it's funny, last week, we're all guilty of looking, on social media. So you could get 100 positive notes, you ignore them. If you get one negative, you look at it, right? So Dave, we had a listener on one of your threads who was killing me for being a Kings hater. And it's like, because I wasn't, throwing the parade for them when they won a few games. And it just, that little stretch of success, I knew all the way through, just had absolutely no bearing on De'Aaron's big picture perspective. Like none. Like you have to win a first round playoff series and go from there. And right now they're still fighting to get in the playoffs. So there's like this disconnect between, I think, the way he sees it and the way, what his calculus is, and the more day-to-day reality of his teammates, where, I think they were hoping things were just going to go in a more positive direction. But those two things right now are pretty tough to reconcile.
Again, Sam Amick, brought to you by all your Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Sam, you kind of felt like the writing, you said the writing's on the wall. This feels like this is where this is going. If they don't get this done in a week, is this as simple as revisiting it in the off season? Kind of even in between Dave's question, like, is this a chance to pair it and patch it together? Or is this, like you kind of referred to earlier, like you really think this is happening within the next 7 days?
I mean, I'll qualify that a little bit. Like, I said earlier, like De'Aaron's not Jimmy. If they didn't get a deal done, I have, very high confidence that De'Aaron goes back out there and plays good basketball and does his job. He's not going to, again, throw tantrums. He's not going to be unprofessional. So the other part of that that's probably worth highlighting too, and I don't have total clarity on this, but enough to share it, is like, for the fans or even his teammates that are mad, saying, why you got to, raise your hand right now and make it about you right now. Well, the sequence of events here is interesting and kind of worth underscoring, because there's some pretty strong indications that, like, the way this really went down was that because of all the signaling that De'Aaron and his camp have been giving to the Kings about the fact that he's very, very, very unlikely to sign the extension this summer, the Kings went to De'Aaron and his camp with a specific situation regarding a team that was calling about him, to essentially, get his read of that particular situation. But the part where that is a challenge is that once you break that seal, then you kind of you open that door, then it becomes, well, if this is what we're doing, if this is the new norm, we're going to have routine conversations about which teams are calling. that's a choice on the Kings' part. They could have continued to say, we're not talking about De'Aaron Fox. Thank you anyways. Do you have interest in any other players? They didn't do that. I don't blame them for not doing that because honestly, there is a really good argument to be made that you should do this right now. But, I don't think it's as simple as, he decided 2 days ago, hey, why don't you let the media know that I'm ready to go?
And Sam, push back again, but in my continuous defense of De'Aaron, and again, I get there's two sides to this, but you've got a guy who is 30 games away, or 29 now, I think, away from playing the most games in town, as Sam Amick for you on YouTube is relocating, taking a kid to school. Is that what's happening?
That is what's happening. We are going to multitask.
All right. So Sam Amick Nostril Cam brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube, where you can get oil changes and more. So I see a guy who is about to break the record for most games played in Sacramento for a franchise that made one playoff series and one play-in series, or should I say game, 2 play-in games technically, who has repeatedly said behind the scenes, and then, it came out, I need to see this organization is stable. I need to see we're on the right track to win a championship. I'm about to enter my prime. The max deal or whatever deal I'm about to sign is going to be the deal that I sign in my prime and will take me through my prime. I just want to win ball games. Am I wrong in saying De'Aaron Fox ultimately in his head, it sounds like he was perfectly fine and if not wanting to sign in Sacramento, and asked them to do some pretty basic things like make moves and improve the roster, and they have not done that. As a matter of fact, they've gone from the 3 seed to the play-in to 2 games over 500 and a fired coach and no GM or owner press conference afterwards, and which he had to fend for himself along with the other players. I'm having a really hard time thinking that the Kings made this mess. Yeah, we got you.
That's fair. I think that the reality is, even, like I was told all the way along, there's not a move that is going to fix this. Now that's, if they went out and got Giannis,
right,
then that's a different story. So, but your point, right, your point is still fair that if they would have shocked the world, here's a good example. Like the ultimate example is the Lakers go out and get Pau Gasol. Kobe Bryant's finally okay. Yeah, something, and still obviously it's not happening.
Sam's pulling out of his garage, I think. So we're having what you're experiencing right now, radio listeners. I'm almost certain is
Right
Sam's.
now, radio listeners, I'm almost certain
And that's why we're getting the reverb. Is Sam's?
And that's why we're getting the reverb.
It's changing
Sam's,
from his car to his from his internet at home to his internet in the car is what's happening. Also, we're getting a bunch of reverb. It's not good.
So we're getting a bunch of reverb.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
We got you.
You guys got me.
We got you.
Yeah, but why are we getting this reverb?
Yeah, I got
this reverb.
All right, that's bad.
Yeah, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna reconnect with Sam here. Hopefully, we'll try to reconnect with. Actually, where are we here? Because that would be an amazing end to the interview, Jason. We have 4 minutes left. We could get him, Chris. If you want to take a jab at getting him back, that would be neato. Also, looks like in the meantime, DeMar DeRozan has spoken. Alan Stiles has tweeted out this video. We'll play you the sound in the next segment. But the quote here, the money quote here is DeMar DeRozan saying, "I'm not trying to play another 5 years. I'm trying to maximize the opportunity we have now to play with a great team." And that was him speaking to his future with the Kings if De'Aaron Fox is traded. I don't even know how the hell to take that.
Yeah, I don't either. I think we need to. We'll hear that. I'm interested in that audio a little later.
Sam, are you okay? Are you back with us, friend?
Yeah, I think I've got you. Can you hear me?
There we go. Yep.
Yes, I could also see your little phone holder was not screwed in correctly, so we kept falling to the wayside. That's fine. That being said, Sam, what did you think about everything I asked you that you probably didn't hear?
Yeah, that's all right. Well, let's try to pull off a strong finish. I mean, give me the gist of it real quick.
Basically, I feel like the Kings franchise has made their own bed here, and that had they De'Aaron Fox wanted some, I think, very fair things. They have not held up that end of the bargain, and he doesn't want to spend the rest of his prime struggling to make the first round in Sacramento, although ultimately he'd love to win a championship in Sacramento. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's all very fair. I think 100%. And I think, they might have underestimated like all the positivity that came with breaking the playoff drought, on the back end of that. You got to realize that, for these young players, like just because your organization has a historically bad context, doesn't mean they're going to stay happy forever with just having gone to the first round of the playoffs, and if more specifically, and maybe I'll be proven wrong one day, the one subplot that I will always be confused by is I understand that Mike Brown was being real hard on players in the public, and there were reasons to think that some of this was Mike Brown's fault. But the Fox okay, the like, Fuck, am I still here?
There you go, Sam. Finish. You were talking about Mike Brown. I think we got you back.
Fox was okay with the pressure Mike was putting on him. They overreacted to the fact that a veteran coach was deciding to choose violence with his players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to do that at a time when he knew it was sensitive to, and then to let people say that it was his doing, that just didn't help. And then to think that, well, we slid Doug in there and we won a few games, like De'Aaron's fine, right? No, that's not the case. He's posting pictures about going to dinner with Mike Brown. He's posting pictures of Luke Laux, the assistant coach, who he's incredibly close with, and who, I bet my mortgage is not going to be with the team next year because he's a Mike Brown guy, and I think De'Aaron knows these dynamics, and he sees people who he kind of rocked with, getting sideways with the organization along the way. I think that stuff didn't help.
That's Sam Amick, and I know we got a break. Sam, last thing, because you kind of touched on it, and I want to be very careful in this question here. There has been persistent chatter that before Mike was let go, that he was asked to let go of a coach or a couple of coaches. We talked about that before. I haven't asked you that in a couple weeks, but have we gotten any more clarity on that at all?
No.
Okay. I appreciate it. Well, whatever. That's perfect answer. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll probably leave that one alone for now. But
all right. Well, we appreciate you. Go pick up, go do what you got to do, buddy. And we appreciate you. And of course, should anything break or whatever, we'll be back with you. Thank you, Sam. That's Sam Amick.
Yes.
I think new rule when Sam has to leave to go do something, which look, he's a dad and he's doing his stuff. And I think we got to switch to phone. I think asking StreamYard to operate that at the end was a little it was a little too much for it to bear.
We have a lot of moving parts. We're in different locations. Sam's in a different location. So yeah, definitely. Hey, Dave, though, as we go to break, we can help out our fellow listeners. How about coming up Friday through Sunday, the PBR Unleash the Beast tour is back in the Golden One Center. And right now we're looking for caller number 3 to score a pair of tickets to witness PBR at Golden One Center this Sunday, February 2nd. So again, call in now at 1-800-920-1140 or 916-339-1140.
Jason, Chris, as we go to break, sorry, I'm not there, so I just want to know which way to tease. I know we have 4 down territory scheduled. Do we have the ability to flip-flop the next 2 segments, or do we need to keep 4 down next?
We could do whatever we'd like.
Okay, hey, just asking. All right, because I don't want to tease this DeRozan stuff and not get
we
right
can play
to
that. Yeah, we can do both.
Okay, well, we'll take a break. When we come back, DeMar DeRozan speaks. We're going to try to figure out between the lines or not what he said, what it means. We'll get to all that right after this.
Saturday night, Kings and Thunder. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally, $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
De'Aaron Fox plays here.
Stolen by Fox. Breakaway coming up for De'Aaron. And a simple, casual spike with the left hand. The Kings lead by 3.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Happy New Grill. Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Give your family a real treat as we did on Christmas Eve. Bring out all the flavors of the new year with the amazing Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts absolute quality. Whitey and Napoleon Grills wish you Happy New Year. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Make a smarter resolution this year. Grab the keys to a new Toyota hybrid and turn everyday drives into exciting adventures. Now is the time to shop great deals. Choose between 16 Toyota hybrid models from the longest-lasting brand on the road. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Go further with more MPG in a new Toyota hybrid.
Grab the keys, come on, let's go.
Toyota, let's go places.
It's time to turn up the volume on live entertainment. Check out the Sacktown Sports live events calendar for the hottest events and shows coming your way. On February 18th, catch the incredible Miles Kennedy at Ace of Spades. His powerful vocals and raw talent will leave you speechless. Then gear up for an adrenaline-packed night with the Thunder Showdown boxing event at Thunder Valley on March 8th. Who will come out on top in the ring? Be there to find out. On March 9th, don't miss the legendary John Oates live at the Crest Theater, bringing you iconic hits and timeless melodies. If you're a country fan, mark your calendar for March 16th, when Alexandra Kay brings her heartfelt songs to Ace of Spades for an unforgettable evening. And on March 29th, get ready to rock the night away as Papa Roach and Rise Against take over the Golden One Center with an electrifying performance. Don't miss these amazing events. For more information and your chance to win tickets, head to sacktownsports.com. Sacktown Sports, your front row seat to the Sacramento area's best live entertainment.
This 49er injury report is brought to you by Jeremy Winter, attorney at law. He cares because he's been there. After an injury-plagued 2024 season, which ended 6-11 and out of the playoffs, the 49ers will focus on getting healthy in the offseason. Running backs Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, and Isaac Guerrero all suffered season-ending injuries. Left tackle Trent Williams' ankle kept him out late in the year, and Brock Purdy missed the season finale with a hurt elbow. 49ers hope to enter 2025 with a full roster back intact.
Serious accident. You deserve the law offices of Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. Jeremy lost his mother in a car accident and knows firsthand the pain caused by tragedy. That is why he became an attorney to fight for others who are going through a tragedy. If you've been seriously injured in an accident, you deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve Jeremy Winter. 877-637-3237. 3237.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from jiffylube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Carmichael Dave. He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, Christopher Lott. Yeah, whether you meant the pun or not, Jason, we're going to punt on 4-down territory because we have, I guess you could call this breaking news. DeMar DeRozan has spoken, and he has spoken on what the hell is this? The I don't know, some podcast.
Run It podcast. Yeah,
Run It Back. Sorry. I want to give those guys respect because we're taking their material. You have the audio. Let's just listen to the question and Jason, what DeMar had to say.
A real question, a tough. I want to ask you a real question, a tough question. You chose Sacramento this offseason over the likes of a lot of different teams. If Fox is traded, do you reconsider your future with the organization, or what would you like to see happen for it to be a positive for you to remain there as well?
Yeah, it's tough because, looking at the landscape before I came here, those the guys I talked to was Fox, Domas, and Malik. Those are the core guys that, made it easy for me to make my decision to play here, and a key player, juggernaut in Fox, not knowing the future of that, it does make it tougher. I don't have much time left. I'm not trying to play another 5 years, try to maximize the opportunity we have now to play with a great team. You never know when dominoes fall the wrong way, when it comes to organization, it makes it tough, so it's something that, we just got to weigh out and see. And, for the meantime, make the most of it, so we'll see how it pan out.
Yeah, that was Lou Williams, by the way, who asked that. And that's, one of my, I wanted to do a little pushback on some things where, again, I think both things can be true here, Dave, in this situation, not specifically on what DeMar said, but more back to like where De'Aaron hasn't been, he's asked for help a little bit what Sam said and hasn't been given it. I mean, they did sign a future Hall of Famer and DeMar right there, his buddy Malik, they were able to keep him in the offseason. A lot of the moves they have done in the past were, whether, back into the details of he was kept ultimately over Tyrese Halliburton. Sabonis is here. Like, they need more depth. That is true. That's 100% factually true. But it's also, I don't want to say like they've done nothing for Fox. I think that's completely wrong.
No, I agree with you. Look, we went over it yesterday. The roster now compared to the roster when Monty McNair and co took over is incredibly better across the board. And I think it's fair to say, as some of the guys I've been arguing with is that Fox has been a constant, and Fox hasn't performed perfectly, but he has performed at a borderline, if not all-star level, for the last 3-4 years here. So yeah, you need help, but it's not like they have been just sitting on their hands forever. They have improved the roster, but here's the bottom line: it is, and Sam, I don't know who he was referring to, and my guess is he might have been referring to more than one player on the Kings that is having issues with all this. And what I took from DeMar, and I want to see if you match, because we're trying to, not that he wasn't forthright, but let's try to read between the lines and get the statement here. It sounds like he's saying, De'Aaron was the big one that recruited me. I came here in large part because of De'Aaron, but of course Domas and Monk and the whole situation. But Fox was the head of the snake. And if he goes, I'm not trying to be a part of a rebuild. I'm not trying to be a part of a team whose ceiling is the play-in, if not the first round. I came here because I thought this team could do some pretty good things. And I'm not saying I want out if Fox is traded, but this sounds very much like, all right, if they're going to trade Fox, which it sounds like they're gonna, I'm going to take the rest of the year anyways to see what they got back, how this team does. And if it doesn't go well and it doesn't look good, then we're going to have some really serious conversations this summer, because I don't want to be a part of a 35-40 win team for the rest of my career.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's, a lot of what he was saying. And look, I came here a large part because of him. And yeah, he has every right to change his mind, not even change his mind, but to have a wandering eye here. And if I feel like, Dave, there's 3 games left before the deadline. These next 3 it's just going to be a really weird time for this team, because if they keep Fox, then you keep going, you move on, you go forward, you try to win as many games as you can. If they don't, I think everybody that's currently on the team that's not involved in the deal is thinking seriously about what comes back, and what comes back is that something that someone like DeMar, if he's not involved in it, is thinking, is this where I want to spend the last part of my career? This is kind of what De'Aaron is saying here too, is look, if I'm going to be moved, I want to have a choice of where it is. You don't always get a choice. DeMar did have a choice. His choice might be looking different to him in a week than it did when he first made it.
Well,
I don't know how Malik doesn't feel partly the same way too, right?
I'm with you. I mean, we haven't even talked about that. These guys go back to Kentucky and are obviously incredibly close. He can't be enjoying this that much. I guess what it comes down to is this: Monty McNair, Wes Wilcox, and the rest of that front office have been entrusted with bettering this team and making them into a contender. And I'm not going to sit here and be disingenuous and say that they haven't done some really good things. We've said before at times, hey, you're on the clock. They're on the Big Ben right now. And I don't think it's outlandish in any way, shape, or form if I say their jobs are 100% on the line. You have a crisis right now. You very well could be staring, Jason, at a 4 or 5 game losing streak going into the trade deadline. You have a crisis right now. Teams on the road, which probably is a good thing if we're being honest, and away from Golden One Center and everything here. At least you have them all together. They got to get this right. They got to do something. They've got to get it right, or it's going to get worse, way worse.
Yeah, agreed.
And we're going to have a really bad season.
Yeah, and getting it right is not an easy thing to do. Even if it's perceived right on the day, it's, again, back to one of those things, just like a draft day pick. Wow, they got the pick of the draft. That's the worst pick of the draft. Well, you got to wait and see. And that's the hard part of we'll all have a reaction if they make the move, but will it end up being the right thing? That's something we have to wait and see.
When I know we got a break, I'll say this as we break. When I left, Jason, I went into my garage to go get a piece of luggage. And I noticed over in the corner with a big cover on it, I hadn't even looked at it in about 3 years, Jason. But my tank has just been sitting in there doing just gathering dust. And my uniform is in the driver's side seat, the commander. I hadn't thought about it before, but I hope that engine still starts. We'll see. We'll take a break. When we come back, what the hell? Who's hot, who's not? We'll recap our 3 in the key from last night, and we will continue with De'Aaron Fox and all the drama associated. If you have a phone call to make it to us, 1-800-920-1140. You can text us at 916-339-1140. We'll be right back on your home of the Kings, Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, maybe a lot of you out there have a past that's still following you around, something that you just can't shake free of, and maybe you would like that. Maybe that label is still following you and that's keeping you from doing some things. Well, how about an expungement? That is something that can happen. It has been done, and someone here locally does a very good job with that, and I'm talking about Jonathan Gonzalez, a lawyer right here in downtown Sacramento. You can call him at 916-304-9187. You'll reach his office. You'll be able to talk to him and just learn about his experience. If you're looking for representation, looking for an expungement, looking for something in a criminal defense, auto accident, a wrongful termination case, sexual harassment, whatever your situation is, you got an experienced attorney here that's local that wants to help you out. He doesn't settle for less, and neither should you. He's got years of history behind him, successful cases that have resulted in life-changing results for thousands of clients. So you could be the same again right here in downtown. He's local, wants to help with all that experience. It's Jonathan Gonzalez and his law office. Again, saclegaldefense.com. Call him at 916-304-9187.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Please, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be
Breathing in the refund.
limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Buy 5 quarts of Castrol Edge Full Synthetic Motor Oil and get a $15 gift card after rebate, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
What's up? We're talking again to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, tell us what's happening for the Start Something New sales event.
Check out the world of electric when you lease a new 2024 Dodge Hornet RT Plus plug-in for as low as $99 a month for 24 months with $39.95 due at signing. And these things get 77 mpge. My sister has one and she loves it.
Wow, that's 3 times the miles per gallon of my car.
It is pretty impressive how much money you can save at the pump. But we also have a huge selection of used cars at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 200 vehicles available and 40 under $20,000.
See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
Lease of $99 for 24 months is before tax and license. Must be California resident. Includes 6,500 SFS hybrid electric federal tax credit and 2,500 West SFS lease cash. Must finance through Stellantis. $39.95 due at signing. 7,500 miles per year. 30 cents per mile over. Tax and license extra. 7th is net savings. Sample MSRP 51,370 VIN A20366. See dealer for details.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
Who, pray tell, who is hot?
The Oklahoma City Thunder. This season, they are outscoring their opponents by an average of 12.2 points per game. Only 3 teams in NBA history have finished a season with 12 points or better averaging scoring margin, and all 3 went on to win the NBA title. That was the 70-71 Bucks, the 71-72 Lakers, and the 95-96 Bulls. And the Thunder are the next opponent for your Sacramento Kings.
Neat. Great. Wonderful. Super grand. And honestly, if my Sacramento Kings can't win the title and I had to pick another team in the NBA to win a title, I think it would definitely be the Thunder. I'd love to see Sam Presti get one. It would suck for our friends in Seattle, or
that's the only reason I'd be rooting for that.
So it sucks for the people. Oh, that's right, because you hate Seattle. I keep forgetting. But I love it. Small market, put together the right way, built the right way. Why can't? Oh man, why can't? I would just love nothing more than 5 years from now looking back and being like, Sam Presti's great, but boy, Monty McNair's better. I really am rooting for that. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but boy, Jason, I sure would like to be in the spot Oklahoma City's in right now.
They're in a great spot. Again, it gets back to the pressure position for them. Like, they were number 1 seed last year and didn't win it. Okay, you're not going to win it every year, but they're not only the 1 seed. Like, they're a difference, a level difference than the rest of the West and a lot of the East. So, they're not in that. Hey, if you don't win this year, they'll start to hear some noise about that because they made some good moves in the offseason. I still think they could make a major splash in the next week if they wanted to. I wouldn't blame them for not doing anything because they've got a great team, but it's still a group that hasn't won it, and they could basically get any player, I think. So
isn't it also one of those things where I could all but guarantee Presti's going to be open to anything, but he's got to be sitting back saying, yeah, number one, I don't want to shake this crew up, but also, you know what our big splash is going to be? A 7'3" center that can shoot threes, because Chet Holmgren's coming back at some point.
Yeah.
And the rich get richer.
Yes, but then let's say there's a little bit of a weird, you just know how this works. I don't know. He comes back and for whatever reason they lose to their level, like 3 of 6, or, it's like, are we worse with, they're not, they just got to incorporate a main piece back in. So yeah, they got a great thing, and I'm anxious to see how far they go.
All right, Chris. Well, that's who's hot. Then who's not?
The Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
Last night they lost to the Toronto Raptors 106-82. That is their 18th 20-point loss of the season. They're now tied with the 70-71 Cavs for the most such losses in a season before the All-Star break in NBA history.
Woof.
That's not great. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
I guess they're rebuilding.
It's so funny. I'm looking at the Oklahoma City roster, right? It's just not, when you first look at it, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, no doubt about it, MVP candidate, top 2, top 3 at the worst, right? Wallace, Dort, Jalen Williams is a stud, obviously. Hartenstein's averaging a double-double. Caruso, Isaiah Joe, Aaron. Like, I look at that roster, I'm like, God. Outside of Shea and Jalen, nothing really, it doesn't jump out at you, but they're so damn good and well built. And it just, you've got all these teams where you're star chasing, right? Like, there's one star on that team, and it's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and that's it. And they got him for Paul George along with another 3 picks. It just really is amazing to look at how they're built and who they have. And they're just, it's like, how are they winning games? They're just good top to bottom. They have no real weaknesses.
Yeah, that's again, now if you compare that back to the Kings, like, they're built differently, and the Kings are the only team in the league with 3 20-point scores. There's a lot to like about the Kings group, but you look at OKC, that's just built better. It's I don't know, it just all kind of fits. And obviously the Kings thought they had more of that right now, but they don't.
Well, and let's be honest, if you tried to trade the starting 5 of the Oklahoma City Thunder for the starting 5 of the Sacramento Kings on NBA 2K, they probably wouldn't let that trade go through.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference between the video game and the real life, because they're just every single weakness one guy has, they fill it with the other. These guys know their roles. And the other thing I like, which is super corny, but have you ever seen, like, after every game when they do the interviews, they all gather around? Yeah. That's just chemistry stuff. And I love it.
They're right there together. Yep.
Meanwhile, De'Aaron Fox is probably getting traded anytime now, and that could domino into DeMar DeRozan not wanting to be there. I can't imagine Domantas Sabonis is too happy watching all this happen. Nobody wants to languish in basketball hell. And I didn't think we'd be here for really, Jason, when we signed, when you think about this team signing the day they signed DeMar DeRozan, and he walked out at the California Classic, and Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us was booming, and it was, Vivek and Monty and De'Aaron and DeMar, and As a matter of fact, I remember, I think I tweeted in my excitement, I was like, we're going to run the West. And then could anyone have imagined between that day in late June, early July, and now just 7 months later, the road down that we've been on is just so Kings-orific.
And also in that early or late June, early July was the excitement they kept Malik. Like there was some real concern that we weren't going to keep Malik Monk.
That's so right.
Keep him. You get DeRozan. You already have Sabonis and Fox, Keegan, so on and so forth. And a lot of anticipation for the season. And it has been a season I didn't anticipate at all, with a coaching change, potential of your franchise piece being traded by the deadline. Man, wow.
There is no better argument you could present to me that we're in a simulation than being a Sacramento Kings fan. Like, what if this is just some weird experiment where people are running it and they're like, all right, let's take these people and we want to test human loyalty. Like, how many things can we throw at them over 40 years? We're going to have tragedy. We're going to have coaches fainting on the sideline. We're going to have 3-pointers at the last second, rigged game, stars wanting out. Welcome to basketball hell. A superstar, but he's a head case. A coach fired when the star has meningitis. I mean, literally, I could do this for an hour. And the worst draft stretch in NBA history. Hell, why don't we let's throw a record-breaking playoff drought at them? Okay. All right, let's give them something a little bit good, and then let's have their star player.
How about we tease relocation?
I apologize. How could I forget about reload? But they stayed. I mean, like, how much are we going to be sitting here in 4 years coming off of our 2 seed, and then our player gets injured in the first round and we get knocked out, and then we sign like last year's MVP, and then they all go roller skating and crash into each other and tear their knees? Like,
it's always the roller skating accident.
Always.
You know who can help explain this?
Who's that?
JR.
Oh, good morning, JR.
Is this show real?
Where are we?
Where are we? I don't know what's worse, the situation or J. Ross's yellow sweatshirt he's wearing.
Wait,
wow.
come on, my God. Easy, JR. I
I
thought we bonded a week ago.
Yeah, that's over. That relationship's over. I'm being traded.
Wow.
Hey, how about this? UCLA is not even the best college team in California. Thought it would be your St. Mary's Gales, a school of 3,000. So there you go, J. Ross.
You mispronounced Sacramento State.
Ooh.
I did. Hornets, stingers up, boy. So yes, this drama. Well, but Carmichael Dave, 2002. That whole thing of keeping Weber and all that was pretty good drama back then. And as much as you love or hate the Maloofs, they found a way to get us to where we were. We had all the pieces, Adelman and Petrie and all that. So we've been there. I mean, young kids don't get it. I don't know. Chris Follett, what's he, 14? So he probably doesn't remember that. But we've been here. We've done this. We go full cycle with being Kings fans. And since we have no other sport, really, I mean.
That's what I'm saying, dude. What? Like, we've been here so many times. And by the way, you mentioned the Maloof. They were these amazing owners, and we're at the top of the pops. And then the real estate market crashed.
Yeah.
Like, how stupid is this?
And then they sold their distillery, and I still blame George. He was the worst of the Maloofs, or Adrian. One of those two should be blamed for everything that went south with that family. I went to the Palms once, and I lost like $100 at blackjack. I still blame them. So I think we'll be all right, though. Tomorrow we'll wake up, the sun will come up. No, I'm sorry, it's raining tomorrow. Never mind. I'm out.
Yeah.
All right, thank you,
Maybe you shouldn't hit on 19.
I definitely never mind. Now my mind's going down this path. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. Like, maybe we are in a simulation. When I think about the comedy of errors, it really is Shakespearean. And you're right. I went through that whole list and didn't even talk about relocation, Jason.
I know that's a big one. Well, Dave, I'm gonna ease your mind a little bit, and everyone else's. Tell them you can win a pair of tickets right now to All Elite Wrestling at Sacramento Memorial Auditorium on March 5th. You might even see Christopher Laud there. We'll see. Ooh. All Elite Wrestling brings you an action-packed night of professional wrestling as AEW Dynamite invades the Sacramento Memorial Auditorium on March 5th. We're looking for caller number 2. Got to be quick to score your pair of tickets to AEW. 1-800-920-1140 or 339-1140.
AEW Dynamite. We'll take a break. When we come back, all right, we got the trade deadline a week away. We talked about it a little bit earlier. Let's recap. What with this Fox stuff going on, and hey, let's throw the possibility of DeMar DeRozan in there now just for funsies. What's the Kings' top priority? We'll get to it next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be
reeling in the refund.
Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Sun is shining, the chairlifts are spinning. That's right, stellar weather here at Palisades. What are you waiting for? Hop in your Toyota and head on up here. I'm Johnny Mosley, and this is your Thursday Toyota Tahoe Report.
Thanks, Johnny. Today will be sunny with a high near 49 and calm winds. Tonight will be partially cloudy with a low around 30. And tomorrow, get your gear ready with the chance of rain and snow. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Man. Yep. Oh, yeah. Yep. Hey, Monty. The text line in the chat is, I made the mistake of naming some of the rough things that have happened to the Kings in the past and how it is almost Shakespearean. And are we in a simulation that tests fan loyalty? And as Chris pointed out, I was naming all this stuff, forgot about the relocation. I mean, again, like we talked, there's been tragedy, the coach fainting on the sideline. Hell, somebody just pointed out, even, I mean, God bless, he's okay, but Bobby Hurley, like off the court, like if you just
Ricky Berry,
yeah. And that's when I say tragedy. Cause I hear you. It's like if we made a list, maybe that'll be a fun show we should do this summer. Like,
sounds so much fun.
It's not fun. It's almost like an experiment. Like I want to say that, like, if you wrote a Hollywood script and you were trying to make like a sad movie and you included all this stuff that basically, like, for me, I was 8 years old when this team came here. So like this team has spanned my entire lifetime for the most part, my entire conscious life. And I've been a fan since day one, and my entire career surrounds this team. Jason, same with you. Chris, same with you. Like it's not just we're fans of the team. Also, like we live and die with the team, our jobs, everything. We're surrounded by it. So like I can't help but think, like, what if I was San Antonio Dave? What if I was Oklahoma City Dave? What if I was Boston Dave? Like all these other stupid Daves that and Jasons and Chris's that you're all covering like multiple championships and have lived through the highs and the lows. Like we talk about our highs, and it was like, well, a Western Conference final and the Warriors 7-game series and
summer league titles.
And summer league titles. Like my point is, like, if we wrote a script and tried to get it made into a movie, I feel like some of the feedback would, honest to God, be like, cut about half of this out because no one's going to believe this. Like, nobody has this bad of luck. And it's real life. Like, this really, you honest to God could make a full, I know there's been documentaries on the team before, but that was all about like saving the team and relocate. You could make a full documentary on the worst, most unluckiest, torturous fan base. I mean, the fans aren't terrible. They're the best, but all of this stuff, Jason, like it's almost when you stop and think about it, it's almost, they say it's too good to be true. It's actually too bad to be true. Oh, a fan puking. Yeah, there's that.
Oh, yeah, we got with pride.
With pride. All right, we got to get to some stuff, right, Jay?
Sure.
Okay. We never did recap 3 in the key. Do we want to sneak that in there real quick, or do we want to go straight into trade deadline? What's your thoughts?
Our 3 in the key wasn't very good.
Almost as
it was Fox centric. You know what? And we were bad. We were bad.
Okay.
That's our recap. I do, before we get to any of that, we have Ramiz that wants to check in this morning. Good morning, Ramiz.
Good morning, gentlemen. We already called the show, but when I do call the show, try to make my point. I'm just getting sick and tired of what's going on. Been dealing with this regarding 2001 NBA Western Conference Finals. When we traded Boogeyman, I had a meltdown, and now we're about to trade our favorite player. Shame on you, Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox. I'm just tired of this franchise with these GMs telling our star players, "Oh, we're going to make this trade. We're going to make this trade," and it never comes through. All that De'Aaron has asked is for wings, and you're going to trade our favorite player, or we're going to go back to NBA and purgatory. We're not going to be having winning records and getting all these draft picks. The reason why I'm so irritated because we have a homegrown player, De'Aaron Fox. We'd love to have him retire as a King, but it doesn't seem like that because our management doesn't seem to think about what's important. You have to trade pieces to get other pieces. In the summertime, Keegan Murray didn't want to trade him, but I wish we would have traded him back then. We could have got Rory Markin or somebody else. It's just a shame that we have to keep going through this over and over and over again. And you know what's going to be next? Sabonis is going to ask out. Malik Monk is going to ask out because they all came here because of Fox. Who can blame them? It's just getting real tired. I just wish something would happen where you go to De'Aaron. This is what do we need, De'Aaron, to keep you here, and you make that trade. This is just like unbelievable. I just can't believe this. We go on this 7-game winning streak. Oh, things are turning around. Oh, we're finally getting back into playoff contention. And then this bombshell happens the other day. It's tiring, man. Now we're being labeled as the worst franchise of all 3 sports, major sports, and in this country, man. It's just, I don't know what to do anymore, man. I can't even watch the games anymore because I don't know what's going to happen the next day. All these rumors are coming out. This is what's going to happen. I just don't know. But shame on you, Monty McNair and Wes Wilcox. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ramiz. 1-800-920-1140. there will be a breaking point. I'm telling you right now, if this thing goes bad, there's gonna be a breaking point with the fans. It really, really is, Jason. I can feel that. You can smell it. It smells disgusting. There's just gonna be a point where you're just gonna because it is a domino effect in the sense that, okay, so you have the Fox thing, then you have that's breaking into the DeRozan thing. By the way, not for nothing, and I don't expect any issues here, but what about how do you think Uncle Kings is feeling right now?
Right.
That's his big brother. And
yep.
I'll say it again. I promise you, Domantas Sabonis and his camp aren't happy. I on one hand, if Monk gets the keys to the castle, great for him. But on the other hand, one of his best friends, if not his best friend now, and you got to think these other players are sitting there on this team watching this and saying, if this is how it goes with the alpha and the omega on this team, De'Aaron Fox, what does that mean for me? They're not going to do it for him. What does that mean for me? So,
yeah, no, those are all fair, I think, logical thoughts that group will have and probably is having. And that's why I think it's the communication Fox has with his teammates right now is really important. But then the results of whatever happens in the next week, if he's kept, that's going to be really interesting. If he's not, obviously the return becomes critical for probably those other guys' psyche and mindset going forward.
So a trade gets made. I want to frame this question a little bit differently, though, Jason, because it's basically we're going to say, okay, well, if they make a trade, if you're Monty McNair, and what should be their top priority, and that's a perfectly logical question. I want to step out a little bit and ask the same question, Jason. How about this? You just bought the team. You are not only the owner, you're the GM. Let's look at it from that perspective. You have absolute power. What are you looking for? What are you looking for in this situation, in this with this trade deadline?
My point, if I was the GM, I had control of this, I would be looking to add to this current team. That's what I would do. I would talk to De'Aaron. Like, are we at the point of no return, De'Aaron? Or, hey, if I can get this, whatever that is that I think I could add to the squad, I think that's the better play personally. Then revisit in the offseason, depending on how the rest of the season went. Then you go, okay, look, we've got a big contract to decide on you in the future. If you clearly want out, then maybe explore that in this offseason. That's probably how I would approach it. But I mean, that's me. I don't have all the inner, exact feelings and words from agents and De'Aaron, but that's how I would do it.
Okay. That's fair.
And then if that goes really well, then maybe this is patched. If it does, it's like, yeah, maybe this is also, look, thank you. 9, at that point, 8 amazing seasons, all-time, games played, that doesn't really matter, but that would be a little caveat up there in scoring, all the things you did. Thank you. Thank you also for what we're going to get in return for you, opening this up to more teams maybe in the summer, and go for it from there. How about you?
I want to give my answer when we come back because it's way longer than a minute. I also want to say that of all the things that are really annoying me about all this, and I've been really annoyed this last week, as a lot of people have. Our text line at 916-339-1140. And by the way, this isn't about this person who may be incredibly sweet and nice and a good person and all that, but I got to tell you what I'm really tired of seeing. From the 510, that's Bay Area, well, Manteca. How much of it's Renee from Manteca, that's how I know that. How much of this Kings turmoil is karma based? The ownership support of John Fisher. I just want to say this one time, and I've said it on Twitter, and I've been actively and vocally against getting into bed with John Fisher, so it's not like I'm not. I would just say it is such an look, and I'm not even talking about karma, dude. I believe in karma and superstition and all that. Like, you're talking to the right guy. I believe in all that stuff. I'm the reverse jinx guy. Like, that's not, that part is 100% okay with me, the take. But what really frazzles my brain is how brain dead asinine of a thought does it have to be to go, well, it's got to be because of John Fisher. Have you not paid attention to this team before they even held hands with? Like, I love that. Like, well, it's got to be because they're doing stuff with John Fisher. You mean, is that why the team's been so great before John Fisher? Or, hey, this player's no longer here anymore, it's got to be a curse. Or this announcer's no longer here anymore, it's got to be a curse. Or guys, this team has always sucked. It has been a constant suck with breaks for not sucking that bad. But let's be clear about this. It's almost entirely suckitude. And then the team sucks so bad, and we're so conditioned to suck that when we have even the slightest bit of successes, it's the same thing as if you are starving to death in solitary confinement in prison, and somebody takes you out and puts you on Fair Oaks Boulevard on the divider and gives you a glass of water and 3 saltines. It's like the greatest weather, the best air, and the most beautiful meal you've ever had, because you have no idea, you have no reference point for pleasure or winning or success. So you'll take anything. Jason, it's like that first meal after we had a 3-day fast. We had a 40-year fast. So, yeah, oh, my God, we made the first round of the playoffs. That's so good. Wow, we're playing. We beat the Warriors. We sent them home for a year, and now we're going to the Pelicans, and, oh, we lost. But, hey, that's so good. Hey, we got to the Western Conference Finals, and the ref screwed us. That's so good. Meanwhile, there's so many other teams out there and so many other sports that are like, that's all kind of failure. I mean, we'll accept it for the year, but we've really got to get back on the winning ways. We're just so conditioned to being miserable jokes that anything not negative seems like a positive, and I hate it, and I'm gonna go punch myself right in the crotch. We'll take a break. When we come back, just repeatedly just hammer myself right where it hurts, dude. Just so I can feel something other than total pain. Maybe I'll lose consciousness. That's fine. That's fine if that happens, because if you're unconscious, maybe I'll go into a dreamland where there's flowers and puppies and winning basketball teams that aren't dysfunctional. When we come back, I'll tell you what I do at the trade deadline and so much more. I'm going to go wash my face right here on Sacktown Sports.
Saturday night, Kings and Thunder. Game night with Scott Marsh and the high flyer Henry Turner starts at 3:30. Tip off at 5.
The Kings play here on Sacktown Sports.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Get an instant cash offer for your trade at FolsomLakeHonda.com. We'll buy your car whether you buy from us or not. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, Sacramento, it's time to party. Join us for the ultimate big game watch party at Mix Downtown, hosted by Sacktown Sports on Sunday, February 9th. Feast on Mix's all-you-can-eat taco and nacho bar and big game bites while watching the biggest football game of the year. Catch all the action on Mix's large projection screens and HD TVs. Doors open at 2 p.m. Kickoff is at 3. Mix Downtown, located at 16th and L Streets in Sacramento. It's 21 and over, so bring your crew and let's make it a game day to remember. For details, visit mixdowntown.net.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. So if I was, we're asking what do you do here if you're going to trade Fox, if you're going to make moves, what do you do? And I would say, Jason, my answer depends, but I'll give you the exact, very easy scenarios. I would explore, obviously, the market for De'Aaron Fox, and I would trade. Well, okay, let me take you through the steps. I would sit down with De'Aaron. First thing I would do is sit down with De'Aaron Fox and his people. I would say, guys, look, is there any way to put the toothpaste back in the tube that's realistic? We would listen. They'd either say no, great, thank you for the meeting, or they'd say, well, this is what would need to happen. I would assess if what needed to happen was realistic and doable, and if it was, I'd do it. And I try to hold the pieces together. I expect that would be a very quick conversation, and it wouldn't be positive. So then I would continue to look at the market. Mm-hmm. If there are players on the market, and if there are offers on the market that would augment and improve this team, not just this year, but for it doesn't need to be for 5 years, but if I can get some things that are going to help us over the next couple years, and I can envision really being able to build with that, then I'm pulling the trigger on that. But if I'm looking at the market and I have a De'Aaron Fox that wants out, and I'm not getting those types of deals, I also need to talk to the camps of my other players, specifically DeRozan, Monk, Sabonis, and not necessarily in that order. I expect the response from those camps would be very similar to DeRozan's. We don't want to be a part of this. We don't want to be a part of a rebuild. We don't want to be and we also don't want to be, the only thing worse than a rebuild is stagnation. We don't want to win 40 games a year for the rest of our career and miss the playoffs or be a play-in, one in, one out type of team. And if I wasn't able to get anything at first crack that would augment the team, if I am getting those conversations with the players, I think I'm going to get them. I would not be stubborn. I would then step back. I would look at the team and I'd say, okay, let's do this. And that's when you put your big boy pants on and you start with trading De'Aaron Fox for 3 or 4 first-round picks. You then turn around and you look at the whole gamut. You have a $25 million salary with DeMar DeRozan, who you could probably package with guys like Kevin Huerter, just to get salary relief, and maybe you get a pick or two out of that, maybe a young player or two. And then I turn to Domantas Sabonis, and I do the same thing because he's going to fetch quite the haul on his contract. And also, you could come out of this thing, seriously, no doubt about it, with something like 7 to 9 first-round draft picks, other than the ones on your own, 3 or 4 good young rotational players, of which maybe you get a diamond in there. You got Keegan Murray left. I didn't even think about Monk. Same thing. He's on a great contract. I try to put him in a good spot. And you just finally bite the bullet and you bottom out. You gather all the picks you can. You drop your salary down. And you rebuild from the bottom up, but you've got a lot of ammo, and it sucks, and nobody wants to hear that, and nobody wants to experience it. But I want to win a championship, and if the doors aren't opening on the paths you want to go on, and I don't want to go on that path, but if I'm trying the doorknob and it's locked, and I try door number 2 and it's locked, but door number 3 is wide open and there it is, I don't want to stay in the hallway. That's apathy. That's the MLE extensions. You're just trying to stay relevant desperately. No, you put your big boy and big girl pants on. You go through the pain of what is 2 or 3 years in the space of 40. And yeah, I may need to get those deals, but I'm also going to have to find out who my next GM is. And if I'm the owner, I'm certainly dropping my salary down. I'm blowing the bank out on that new GM in front office. And those are the guys that are going to make those picks. And that scouting department that I just hired that is made up. Jason, can you name for me, let me just ask you, 3 of the top 5 current NBA scouts?
No, I don't have that off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't either. And you could give me 4 hours, but you know who does know that? Other NBA people and scouts. We never hear about them. How hard would it be for you to pull 5, 10, 15 of the best track recorded scouts in the entire NBA, Europe, etc.? That's going to cost you less than a first-round draft pick salary on his rookie deal for all of them put together. You do the same thing with your GM. You've got a great front office and coaching staff. You got a crap ton of picks. Your salaries are bottomed out to the point where you can bring on salary either to gather more picks or to bring in stars. You've got ammo. You do it the right way for once, or we just do this for another 30 years. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's what you would do.
I'm saying I would look at the doors, but what I would, and I would go through the one available, but what I would not do. And Jason, it's what this team, let's just look back at this in a couple of months, because I swear to God, it's what I think the odds on favorite for this team to do is. They are, because of the pressure coming from up top, they are going to do everything they can to try to stay relevant today, because screw tomorrow. And tomorrow eventually comes and screws you back. And we've been getting screwed for 40 years. I personally would like to be the screwer someday and not the screwy. But I'd also, like to, look like that dude Thor from the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, let's see what Steve has to say to us, Dave. Good morning, Steve.
Okay, I've been around since the beginning of time with this team, and I think the issue is right now there's no identity, there's no direction. I'm not talking about the root cause of all this. I mean, when you have the average tenure since Rick Adelman of a coach here, just a little over 13 and a half months per coach, you got a problem. I mean, there is no continuity. There is no strategic that I could see plan that we're going to start building this team. And I think unless and until and maybe it comes down to the owner. I mean, you look at Dan Snyder with the Washington Redskins / Commanders. They didn't really even start to make a comeback until the owner got out. Now, I'm not necessarily calling for Ronnie his head on a stick, but what I am saying is they have got to figure out what they're going to do and not change their coaches like underwear, and get at least some sort of an identity going that players not only within the organization can rally around, but players outside saying, okay, this is what they're trying to do, rather than going to what seems to be a very dysfunctional organization that zigs and zags and doesn't know what the hell they're doing from one year to the next.
I would say this, and I actually, that's a great call. I hear him. But there is one thing I want to make sure that we all understand as a fan base and as people that cover this team, because I hear this all the time, and it's a very understandable comment. The Sacramento Kings, he started his call, the Sacramento Kings don't have an identity, right? That is to me, you can say a lot of things about this franchise. That might be the most false thing you could say about this franchise. And we have to wrap our heads around that, Jason. The Kings probably have a stronger identity than 98% of any other team in the NBA, if not all of sports. They're losers. They're failures. They're dysfunctional. There was literally a Saturday Night Live skit centered around how terrible the franchise is. We have had an identity for a long time. We suck. And we've always sucked. And we're going to suck for the foreseeable future. And I'm going to look into the looking glass right now. If you guys look online, tremendous numbers. We appreciate you all being here. Please hit like and subscribe. We hate the drama. We love that you're here. Don't think we don't know it's a mirage, because if this thing isn't handled right, 98% of you are gone in a month because it's apathetic, which I don't blame you for. I don't want that to happen, but that's just the reality of the situation. Everyone wants to go to the middle of the playground for the big fight. And then when it's over and the yard duties come out, everybody scatters. Everybody rubbernecks when there's a crash. Right now, the Kings are a big effing car crash. They've always been a car crash. Anyways, we'll take a break. When we come back, I don't know. What the hell? Well, what to watch. And we got some all-star reserves to be announced tonight. How funny would that be if Fox was one of them, by the way? We'll get to all that right after this.
The only place you'll find De'Aaron Fox is Sacktown Sports.
Spins away from the defender, in the paint, soft floater. That's a great play by De'Aaron Fox.
Hey, Sacramento, it's De'Aaron Fox, and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Celebrate the new year in style with a new Honda from Stockton Honda. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. With over 500 new Hondas in stock and ready to go, now is the time to save on your favorite Honda in person or online. CRV, HRV, Pilot, Accord, Civic, and Ridgeline. It's a new year with endless possibilities. Get the deals that make it easy to say yes at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Dunks, threes, buzzer beaters. There's so much NBA happening. I gotta keep up.
Easy there. There's a better way to NBA with the NBA app.
Wait, really?
Follow your favorite teams and the league's brightest stars. Be on the ball with real-time stats and scores.
Yeah?
And go behind all the drama with new docs and shows.
Are you kidding?
Catch every swish, dunk, and bucket. All of this, all in one place, all for free.
Thank you.
There's a better way to NBA. Download the app today. Available on the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Millions of Americans take medicine like Ozempic and Zepbound. Many of them are overpaying by thousands of dollars a year. These GLP-1 medications for diabetes, weight loss, and more may not always be covered by your insurance, but GoodRx can help. GoodRx helps you save every month on prescriptions at over 70,000 pharmacies nationwide. Best of all, it's free to use. Check GoodRx to save on GLP-1s. Just go to GoodRx.com/GLP. That's GoodRx.com/GLP. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, including Medicare and other federal and state-funded programs.
This year, resolve to save on the all-new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. With $8,000 off MSRP after rebates on over 30 new half-ton Silverado LT and RST after rebate. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections of new 2025 Silverados in the Sacramento area. $8,000 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Available with special financing, leases, and other offers. Based on 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
On Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Half hour left. I don't know. Very emotional right now, Jason.
I can tell.
Some people say like, don't be so emotional. Don't be a drama queen. I'm being a drama. I am. I admit it. I'm being a drama queen today. I don't know, man. Talk me down. Like I'm really, I'm very frustrated. I'm just very frustrated. I'm frustrated for the city. I'm frustrated for these fans. I'm really frustrated. And it's a lifetime contract. Like I'm not going to go be a fan of another team. I'm not going to bandwagon. But it's like, why do we is it geography? Why are we so committed to what goes into that? It makes no sense. Why do we invest so much time in something that gives back so little? Why do we do that? Especially when it's a voluntary distraction. Like if my wife sucks and my kids suck, like, well, I'm stuck. I mean, maybe not with the wife part, but they're always going to be my kids. Even if I had like the crappiest kids ever in the world and they were like serial killers and like they're still my kids. I'm still going to love them. Like it's kind of the same thing.
Question.
That being a fan of a team's like your kids, like it's just one of those things. It's family.
Well, there's a reason you like sports. You love it. You're entertained. There's an entertainment part to it. Yeah, you can go through 40 losing seasons. You can go through 40 winning seasons. You enjoy the sport. You enjoy watching them play. You picked all the wrong things that happen, and that list is all true, but it's not. Everything hasn't always been miserable.
No, it hasn't. Some of the
even in this season, like they're still in a stretch where it's been as good as it's been. Now there's a bad loss last night, and this trade still may happen, may not happen. It could be the worst trade they ever made. Could be the best. But I think if you're going down that road, you're already assuming it's going to be the worst thing they've ever done, and it's going to be a big miscue, and there's no hope.
No, you're right, and I mean, there's obviously reasons I feel that way. It's not. It's hard sometimes. It's just when you take a step back. Sometimes it's just really hard to find the bright side. And by the way, like it's sports, dude. Like, no, there's like cancer and kids dying and like, I get the perspective. So let's all calm down. Like, this is sports emotion. This isn't real life emotion. I have perspective. Don't get me wrong. But in this bubble, it's hard sometimes it's hard, Jason, to find a bright side for me, because I'm going, okay, well, we're in this mess, in my opinion, in part because of the ownership and front office. I count that as one thing. So we're now counting on them to pull us out of it. And even if we went with my rebuilding thing, even if that was the option, like who's making those draft picks? Who's running the show? And what has been done to go, you know what, tomorrow could be better because of this. And I guess that's what I'm searching for right now.
Yeah.
You were saying earlier that the franchise only cares about today and never about tomorrow, but it feels like you only care about tomorrow and you never care about today.
I mean, I think that's fair. I'm trying to think that through, Chris. I think I would disagree in this sense. I would say that you guys, look, let's just be real honest here. Let's just stop being a radio show for a second and be humans. Jason is the greatest guy in the world and is the most level-headed dude there is, period. Chris, you're a snarky bastard, but I love you, and you have a different perspective on things. I'm the drama queen of the show. I have like actual mental issues, like when it comes to this stuff, and I fully admit it. And I'm manic, and I have anxiety and all the stuff that goes with it. And I lead with my heart. And I would disagree with you, Chris, in the sense that I think I have also gotten over the top excited for things when the team's doing well. When something good happens, I probably get overexcited and over positive, and maybe I'm setting myself up for too high and too low. Whereas Jason, you're more of like, not that you don't get excited and happy, but I think you have like a ceiling that's, I don't know if this is fair or not. You have a ceiling of you have a ceiling of excitement that might be slightly lower than mine, because mine's kind of psychotic, and you have a floor that's much higher than the floor I can go down in the depths of despair. Is that fair? Or?
Yeah, I guess my analogy would be you are Twitter, I'm at the arena. Honestly, I mean, because
you're right.
I don't even know of another example. The Kings are going through what they're going through. They make a trade of Fox, and let's say 99% of the people hate it. The next game they play at home, maybe it costs them a few people from going to the game, but that place is going to be energetic and entertained, looking for fun.
That
the team
player will most likely get a standing ovation.
Yeah. Hey, new guys here. Look, they'll say the right thing, wants to be here. Look, you're now the king. Once a king, always a king. I just think that's the way. Okay, they don't trade him and Fox is back and they go to battle and there's Fox and people are cheering every one of his baskets. I just think there's different people that take this differently, and that's okay. That's good. We don't want everybody to be the exact same.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, and maybe part of it is, I know the saying, like, in order to really appreciate the highs, you have to go through the lows. Like
plenty of that.
There's like some 18-year-old little crappy Boston sports fan kid that like has had all the highs for the most part. So the lows are going to be like insane. Like, what is this? Versus my kids, my son has seen almost, has had some great moments, but he's never gotten to witness that stuff. And this infection I have as a Kings fan, and it is an infection, I immediately inoculated him into it. He's got it now for life. But maybe we'll all be sitting here with half a brain cell someday in 10, 20, 30 years or whenever it is. And if the Kings finally do get over the top, and maybe, I mean, Jason, I imagine if the Kings sucked for the next, 10, 15 years, the same way they have for the last 15, but they won a title in 2040. I mean, would you be thinking at some point as the confetti was dropping down on your face, would you look up and go, it was all worth it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you're playing for, is a title. And, they could be the team that got to 15 straight Western Conference finals and didn't win the title. It would still be an amazing run, but you'd be like, man, they never achieved that ultimate goal. Like that, the early 2000s team was great. They were championship worthy for probably 2 to 3 of those years. They didn't get it. And that's that. I know that Doug and others, Bobby Jack, they all chase that still, and they can't do it as players. But now I just know this for a fact. Doug wants that so badly for that 02 group, for those 2000 fans, for the current fans. And that's what he's pursuing. Now, they may be far away from it. They may get there someday. Who knows? But I know that's what he's chasing for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's a road. It is definitely a fun. I mean, it's entertaining, I guess, right? Like we watch.
Doesn't sound like it's fun for you.
It's not fun sometimes. And by the way, like we have a great job, again, perspective. But I mean, did anybody like go, hey, I want to go see this scary movie? It's so fun. Like maybe the Kings. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm like, maybe the Kings are like a horror movie. Like it's still entertaining. It's just a different form of entertainment. Like you're just, like I said, people rubberneck at car crashes. They don't rubberneck. Like if I see a nice tree on the side of the road, I'm not slowing my car down and watching it the whole time. It's a nice tree. If I, you see something else on the road, everyone's rubbernecking. Like there's people. Maybe I just have to redefine the nature of what I think is entertaining. and just roll with it. Like, oh, they made a crappy trade. That's so entertaining. Like, it's crazy. How much worse can it get?
But you'll watch the next game. That's what it is. It's your entertainment.
As we take a break, I've seen Camp and a couple others on the chat. Just so you guys know, when you say like, hey, Camp's been saying, get Vivek on the show. Guys, we have a standing offer, open air, absolutely, for Vivek, for Monty. If you think we're not trying to get these people on, I assure you we are. It just doesn't, it's not going to increase the chances of them coming on if every day we say, well, another day they haven't come on. But trust me when I say we're trying to get people on. And, we had Doug Christie on a couple weeks ago, and we appreciate the Kings for doing that. And we'll have the people on when we can get them on. We'll take a break, but I promise you we're trying. When we come back, we should probably mention the All-Star reserves being announced tonight, by the way. And I don't think Fox will get in, but I am pulling for, I do think Sabonis has a decent shot. We'll see. Lakers, Wizards, T-Wolves, Jazz, Rockets, Grizzlies. It's a light night tonight in the NBA for the TNT games. We'll talk to Alan Stiles, and we will do crosstalk, celebrity birthdays as well, brought to you by Crumble Cookies. We'll do it all next.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
My good friends over at Jiffy Lube have an amazing New Year oil change special going on right now for the month of January. Get a full synthetic oil change starting at just $76.99 with a $33 off coupon online. That's right, starting at just $76.99 for a full synthetic motor oil change with a $33 off online coupon from JiffyLube.com today. Offer valid for up to 5 quarts of premium motor oil, specialty vehicles, and diesel extra. Happy New Year from Jiffy Lube.
Here's a resolution that's easy to keep. Grab the keys to a new Toyota truck and make every day an adventure. Get a low-cost lease on the iconic Tacoma, or get 1.99% APR or $2,000 cash back on the powerful Tundra. Every new Toyota includes Toyota Care, 2 years of complimentary scheduled maintenance. Resolve to live it up this year in a new Toyota truck. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium ready credit at Q325.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeWise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
What does it feel like to file with TaxSlayer and get your guaranteed maximum refund? It feels like the last level of a video game, facing off against the final boss who stands between you and your refund.
All your refund has belonged to me.
Using the power of TaxSlayer like a secret power-up he doesn't see coming.
Only the most tax confident can defeat me.
Throwing your laptop at his video game face and watching him crumble into a giant pile of shiny coin tax refunds.
Oh, not fair. You use TaxSlayer.
Start for free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
It's time for the news of the day.
The latest headlines, the biggest stories, hard-hitting analysis.
Yeah, this is none of those things. And now, here's Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross.
Alan's coming in. I think I might have just seen maybe my favorite text of all time from Bill McPherson. Jason Ross is intellectually gifted and emotionally super stable. He is a seeing eye service dog guiding Dave. But Dave, don't give in to things that can't be done. You are my eyes and ears, Jason, guiding me through the darkness.
Man, I've been called a dog many times.
I know. I can't tell if that's. I feel like that's a big compliment to you.
I like the first part. Yeah, no, I do. That's it's actually a pretty funny visual.
Oh yeah.
You good? You good?
Me or Alan?
You. No, Alan's always good. I know that. I'm talking about you.
I am on my 7th hot chocolate of the day, baby. I am.
What's
hammered.
in there?
Hot chocolate.
I did get a personal text about you, Dave.
Oh God.
Chris, just tuning in about 15 minutes ago. Did something finally break with Dave?
Is that our Chris?
No, it's me. He's texting me.
I got you. Yeah. No, nothing's broken. Just a little bruised. We'll be fine. I'm over it. I'm good. Everything's fine.
You're the brown spot on the banana.
There you go. Everything's great. Honestly, guys, I don't know why we care so much. It's just sports. You guys need to calm down. Good morning, Alan.
Good morning.
All right.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Alan's microphone working as much as our front office is. How are you, buddy?
Is it not?
You're good now. You're good.
Okay. All right. Excuse me?
He was busy hanging out with KNCI.
That's right, I was.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I just stopped by.
Check him in the morning show over there?
Mm-hmm. Collab coming soon. So
do you like that? Do you like their morning show more?
I beg your pardon?
Yeah.
Wow, that's not the answer you're looking for.
That was a yes, Dave. Dave, I can confirm the yes answer here.
Hey, I love all shows. Yeah. I love country. I love Dave.
Didn't you
Okay, thank you.
Well, that's already understood.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Didn't you have didn't you like do a country song? Didn't you have like a imitation country song you did?
Yeah. You're in my house, stepping on a mouse.
Did you give that to them, that gem?
No time, but you know.
Wow, I hated that.
So Fox is getting traded, and then DeMar DeRozan not that far behind.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy because you never know, and I know, Dave, you've been kind of tiptoeing lines, and that's what you do, and you know, I've been doing the same thing, so I appreciate you giving me that green light, because it is interesting how we see. I always wonder in these moments, right, when we, you know, I will get access to players sometimes on my show, and then when things can go a little bit squirrely, you know, tech stop working, right? But apparently DeMar is willing to talk about it. He's on the Run It Back pod, so it was interesting to see him talking about something so quickly. I'll put it to you like that.
I mean, God forbid he come on this station, right?
I just thought they were all going to probably be shielded from it.
Yeah.
So to see him doing something outside of game practice availability made me think, oh, if we're talking about it, then let's talk about it.
Yeah, and even De'Aaron yesterday, I was a little surprised that he spoke, but he did. Good for him.
Right.
Yeah.
So clearly we can do it. Well, I don't know about but it can be done. Too much?
Yeah. No, I'm just, you know. Somebody said on the text line, what did DeMar say? But I read it as, what did DeMar say? And then I had the song in my head, and that's how my brain works. So what does the fox say?
And there was something on a Niners, one of the Niners accounts, and they did the same voice of the Liam Cohen Duval, and it was I can't think of the person's last name, but it was like Paywall or whatever, but the Duval thing. Paywall. Yes, that B. I can't read it. Why? Paywall.
Yeah. So on your show today, I guess you'll have that to break down along with last night's game, along with the Fox.
Yeah, the last night's game very confusing. I'm not going to say anybody, mailed it in, but it was just awkward. It was just awkward. As far as one thing we haven't really talked about is the whole, hey, we need to be better. Can you imagine being in that locker room? Like, is De'Aaron talking about, am I trash? Who are you talking about, De'Aaron? So we're going to go through process of elimination. We have Jason Bede joining us, who covers the Magic. That's at 12 o'clock to see. We're kind of using process of elimination with some of these dark horse teams because everyone's talking about the Spurs. So we're going to talk to Jason, see if the Magic would be interested. And then at 1 o'clock, we have Brendan and Chris Watkins for a little Kings roundtable. So a crazy show. And of course, we will be replaying some pieces from Sam Amick on your show. So it's going to fly by, the fastest, most fun 4 hours of your life.
Hopefully the part when Sam was in the garage.
Yes.
And, the reverb. And all that kind of stuff.
Yes. He's a busy guy, man. He's a busy guy. Sorry.
Oh, we must be out of time. All right. Celebrity Birthdays brought to you by Crumble Cookies. Jason Ross.
Let me try to pick some headliners here. Phil Collins. Happy birthday.
Phil Collins is 74.
72.
77.
Correct answer. Carmichael Dave, 74.
Wow.
Happy birthday to the Thompson twins. Amin and Asur Thompson.
23.
22. 22.
We have a correct answer. Alan Stiles, 22. Jalen Rose, happy birthday.
Jalen Rose is 54.
That hairline is 23, though. Jalen Rose is 52.
It's drawn in.
53.
We have a correct answer. It goes to Alan Stiles,
Come on.
Jalen Rose. Tom Izzo.
Oh, no.
Oh, for Shizzo. Tom Izzo is 75.
73.
H to the Izzo. You said 75?
73.
I did.
74.
Chris is close to 70, and we'll end with Christian Bale.
Batman.
I don't know why his religion matters. I will say he is 51.
Really? 50 on the nose. Oh, sorry, Chris.
50 and 53. We have a correct answer, and it goes to Carmichael Dave, 51.
That's a great way to end with a win. See, things can be great, kids. Don't be that depressed. It's just basketball. Alan Stiles is going to take the torch and run you all the way until 2 p.m. For Jason, for Chris, for Sam Amick, for Kelly Brothers. Light the beam. Bye-bye now.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Keegan going for another triple.